Does anyone have Zorian's phone number? Because I could call him.
I just emailed him
Okay.
and hopefully,
I guess
Maren, we're
now that we're
on.
live on
We're
YouTube,
on?
I don't want. Yeah.
We are now on live on YouTube, so I'm not going to give you his phone number.
Yeah.
So it goes out across.
If you
So
email me, I can call him.
All right, we seem to be good. If you will screen share me, we are shared. And I will go to can everybody see? Said that screen sharing, we can't, I'm not seeing on Maren Lindstrom, the big M.
I made you the co-host, so you should be able to.
No, it said, hold on. I'm seeing my screen.
There you go.
It is.
But oh,
There we go. All right, one or two bobbles, but all right, now the easy part. Hi, Zorian.
I got through, thank
yeah, sorry about
Live
that.
from
The
Pluto,
link was
Zorian.
no good. Glad I fixed it. I did it.
All right, guys, I think we can do a call to order and a pledge to the flag. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
United States of
and
America.
to the republic for which it stands,
Republic
one nation,
stands,
under God,
nation,
indivisible, with liberty and
indivisible,
justice for all.
and-
All right, roll call, please, Brianna.
Chair Lindstrom,
Here.
Mr. Sarofsky,
Here.
Mr. Williams. Oh no, where's Patrick? Oh, he's not here right now. Mr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Pinsky,
Yeah.
Ms. Maloney is not here. Mr. Grasso,
Here.
do we say the alternate to Mary Lou if they're here? I'm sorry, I always forget. No, okay.
Yeah, the poor alternate gets to come to everything and be the persona non grata. Not allowed to speak and not allowed to be acknowledged.
It should be noted in the minutes that he is there, though. So if he ends up coming in on something later, we know that he was there and listened.
Perfect.
And he gets
All right.
paid.
All right, first, February 22nd workshop meeting decision. We might have to wait till the end on this because the town board is sending to us yet again another revision of the short-term rentals. And it's not very much. We already sent them our comments. They've integrated our comments and they have a couple changes they've added. They would like us to review those changes, send a letter back. We could, to try and get this to them as soon as possible, it might be nice to have the workshop meeting on the 22nd. It would take 2 seconds probably if everybody pre-reviews the comments and the changes, since we've really done most of the heavy lifting here. Is everybody okay with doing a very quick 6:30 meeting on the 22nd?
I'm good.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to, well, we don't have to make a motion because we always have it open, but we will keep it open and we will actually hold our 22nd meeting at 6:30. And it should take 20 minutes, if not less, to look over a couple additions. Next thing is, as we discussed, we have a meeting protocol template now. And for all applicants, we are trying to codify and organize our meetings so there are less interruptions, so it follows a smooth protocol. This is our procedure we're going to implement. It might be a little rough the first time, so I remember how to do it. But it's basically, in order to facilitate efficient and productive meetings, please familiarize yourselves with our meeting procedure ahead of your appearance in front of the Town of Rochester Planning Board. The board will follow this procedure for each agenda item. If you do not have the floor, please refrain from speaking until it is your turn. And for all the applicants that are already on the docket here, obviously didn't receive this. We're just implementing this after our workshop meeting on January 25th. So this will be going forward from now on, but we'll try to apply it to everybody who is already in process. So it starts with an introduction from the chairman, which is pretty standard as to the application on the docket. Then let me see if I can get this a tad bigger for everybody. A presentation and overview from the applicant. Board members will be quiet and let the applicant present. Then the questions from the board, each member will go around. I'm going to try to randomly call on everybody to see if anybody has comments. If it's scheduled in a public hearing, then public comments. If it is not a public hearing scheduled, there's no public comments because the public is not allowed to speak. Board discussion of comments and the overview, and then hopefully a conclusion and summary of what we need to do next, where we are, if we should bring in consultants, if the application was complete. And in some cases, it could be that we move to a findings and decision. So that is that.
Maureen?
I interrupt for just a moment, Maren.
Of course you can.
Brianna, Mr. Medenbach is trying to get into the meeting and he's having trouble. Could you email him?
I did
The
email
corrected
him,
link?
but I will do it again.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Myron, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yep.
Should we put some sentence about process during the public hearing, that we just listen to the presenter and don't ask any questions? Something like that? So everybody on the same page?
Yep, public comment. We might have to make this look more beautiful later. That is our
Also
basic.
that it's not a Q&A. There's no back and forth.
Exactly. How about that?
Sounds good. Just a few typos.
There we go. Boom, my magic typo fixer.
And after PH, public hearing serves, get rid of the server, get rid of that extra S.
You don't want servers? Exactly.
Whatever.
We will put it into
I'm
all of our
flexible.
servers.
I'm flexible.
I will make, Sam and I can look at that and make it look more pretty, but that is the idea of our public hearing protocol. Thank you very much.
Are all the things that Sam did for us from the last minute, are they all up on the drive?
They are up on Drive except for the part which you won't really use that much, but you can just sort of reference, which is the keeping track of the files in a spreadsheet. So each application that comes in gets its checklist and timing and that we need to
Okay.
perfect a bit, but this document you see here, you have procedure, you have the file naming convention,
Okay,
and then a link to the tracking sheet. The tracking sheet we started working on that, needs some more refining. It's quite,
I just want to be familiar with the procedure so that I don't violate the procedure.
exactly. We start with your pinky,
And
and then we move to your index finger to be cut off if you do not do it.
Myron, under what folder it is?
It is in documents, in PB documents.
Documents, okay.
And
Okay.
all of within PB documents, when we get it perfected and up and running, all of the files will be there. So you can see what needs to be filed, what the applicants have filed, what time, what we're looking for, et cetera. It's not quite for
Thank you.
rollout as of yet. And we have 2 new members, Mark Grosso and Zach Jarvis, who's not allowed to talk. And at the very end, when maybe they're allowed to talk, we're going to have them, if everybody's still awake and still feisty, have them sort of introduce themselves and give a bio after we have gone through the rest of the meeting. All right, trainings. Remember, guys, start early, start hard on your training. So it's not all a big December initiative. Brianna did just send one out. And I know if you guys are on the DEC mailing list, they are replete with trainings right now. I have a bunch that I signed up.
Maren,
Okay.
is there a general training for the new members scheduled? And if so, is it possible for existing members to also attend that just to bone up on the basics?
Sorry, can I answer that, Lauren?
Yep.
I'll send you Zach and Mark a link on the New York State Department of something. They have a whole training video for zoning board, planning board members, so I can send that to you guys tomorrow. And I also just updated all the emails for the New York State Planning Federation, so they should have all your contact info and send you stuff as well, all of our members. So I did that today.
Thanks, Brianna. And the basic one, Sam, that's on, I believe it's on the New York Department of State. For the new members, there is Planning and Zoning 101, and that is a training where you have to answer questions at the end and get a score, basically, and you'll get your credits for that. So that's the first one you should go through, and Brianna can send that link. Okay. First up is Planning Board 2021, 03, a lot line improvement. This is for Accord LLC, Michael Fink and Carolyn Ferolito. The lot line improvement, this is downtown. The technical address is on Towpath, but there's some frontage also on Granite. This includes the disused, a mill?
Feed mill.
A feed mill, right? Because I was going to say a flour mill or a feed mill.
Feed mill.
And other lands that are there. You can see the Ulster County Parcel Viewer Overview, the 3 sort of, let me make it fit. The 3, what is it? Light yellowish, whatever colored, are the parcels to be combined. Here, it's always tough to see, but here is the property. So you have this long piece and then the 2 pieces around here. And I will let the applicant at this point, that's your introduction from the chairman. It's a lot line, so it's quite basic. We don't have very many other supporting documents. Is the applicant or somebody representing the applicant here?
Yeah, hi, I'm here. My name's Ren Hockey. I'm here with my partners, Henry Rich, Dave Weinkoop, and my wife, Vera Farmiga. So yeah, we're looking to consolidate the 3 parcels into one, in anticipation that we're going to be coming to you guys in the future with a comprehensive plan for developing and restoring and revitalizing the granary barns.
Perfect. And,
Can you give us a kind of an idea of what
well,
you're
you're
gonna be
not
doing
allowed,
there?
Rick. I get to
Oh.
call on you and go around in a circle. All right, so you're going
Damn
last
these,
now.
damn these procedures. Why can't we, I
You're-
make a motion, we go back to the old, no.
You're going last. So Anne Marie isn't here. Patrick is neither here, right? So let's go to Sam. Any questions, Sam? Sam, unmute yourself.
Sorry. My only question was, it looks like there's 3 tax parcels, but there's like 4 SBL parcels. I just wanted to make sure that that all ends up clear. It took me a second just to figure it out because the map that's up right now actually shows 4 parcels being combined, but it looks like 2 of them are actually under the same tax parcel. So I just want to make sure that that gets, I don't know if there's anything special we need to do on the map, but just to make sure that that was addressed, because it's like we're actually deleting 4 lot lines rather than just the 3.
So yeah, there's a discrepancy on the map we're looking at right now and the Ulster County parcel viewer, one of which shows one of the lots having 2 parcels on this map, where on the Ulster County parcel viewer, they are distinguished as 3 separate lots.
Yeah,
this is part of the
right
reason
here.
why we want to clarify this going forward. We want to get a new clean survey, update it, and yeah, unite it.
So do you know how it is deeded?
It is currently deeded as,
It looks like,
go ahead.
oh, I said it looks like it's deeded as 4 lots, but taxed as 3. That would be my guess.
There's no
anyway.
4, it's 3, it is 3 lots. It's 28, 29, and 31.
Okay, yeah, because it's this one that I just drew the circle around. That line doesn't show up on the tax map, but it shows up on this survey map. That was the confusion.
Sure.
But that is 28 for both of them.
Right. So it's just
On
a
this,
technical
on this
question.
map, yes, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all my
You
questions.
know, if it
just a
came from
technical
2
question.
separate deeds, well, it's curious as to why there'd be a line there.
It's 1 deed. No, I apologize. It is 2 deeds.
And 1
sorry,
tax
Mike.
parcel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like at
Okay.
some point someone combined it for the taxing purposes, but didn't actually go through with the lot line deletion.
Right.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to point it out and make sure that whatever we need to do in our approval documentation and the maps that get submitted, just address that correctly.
sure. And
I
this
guess
was
a Mary Lou question.
right. And this, if this is really just to kind of give you guys a site plan of what, you know, what we plan on doing. And I think that from this point forward, we're going to engage in a new survey. So that should all be solved.
Cool, thanks. That's all my questions.
Okay.
Zorian?
Yeah, the same map. I think it's lot 28. Ownership is not correct.
What shape is not correct?
Lot 28, it's
Yeah.
not it's not owned by Fink, but it's owned by just a second.
It's
By
yeah,
lady?
Carolyn
By
Ferlito.
Caroline Ferralita.
Yes.
Just pointing out because I was confused.
So we need to have the ownerships cleaned up there, and if you're gonna get another survey done that'll clean up some of this?
It will all be cleared up. Yeah.
Okay.
So going forward, from this point forward, we are Accord LLC, and we are the new owners, purchasing from Carolyn and Mike respectively.
Okay,
Right.
do you own it yet?
We do own it. It was, we were just holding out for a better insurance product,
Okay.
which we got today, and it's all been a bit funny given the times, but
So has everything been deeded over to Accord LLC?
that is literally happening like as we speak tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, because we have to make sure that our map,
Right.
in order to grant a lot line improvement, we have to have the right names on there.
Absolutely.
Rick, do you have, I think what in conceptual, Rick, you had a question, did you forget it by now?
No, actually, I didn't. If you waited another minute, I might have. Can you give us some inkling of what you plan on doing with the property, or is it still too early?
Henry, would you like to?
I'll take that one. As you guys know, none of the commercial spaces on Main Street really have the septic for a restaurant or any food service, even kind of a casual cafe. So obviously this would be pending a lot of conversations about all the things, parking, lighting, safety. But the idea would be to put a restaurant in the old granary, the big building, and also have it be kind of an activated outdoor space for people to hang out, picnic tables in the summer. And would love to activate some of the tall barn as well, which is the barn kind of on the bottom of this drawing, which is actually in great shape. And this is going to be a much more fleshed out plan in the next month or two, but the idea would be to put some level of retail. We were thinking maybe a bike shop so people can enjoy the rail trail, for rentals or buying new bikes, and a combination of studio and office space on the 2 floors above that. That's kind of as far as we've gotten right now, but we want to submit like a comprehensive master plan with all the different phases to the planning board at the next meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Henry.
The reason that we want to combine the lots, on paper, it makes them less valuable, but for whatever we'd want to do, it would require, a significant amount of parking, and we want to make sure that there's actually advice from Jerry Davis that there's all kinds of setback requirements when the lots are chopped up like this that get easier to work with when it's all one lot.
Thanks.
Mark, you have anything?
I do actually. I own a home on 37 Towpath, so familiar with the area. Are there, and this is a question for you, Chairperson Lindstrom, is there any historic preservation requirements there in the town for commercial usage? Is there any issues with that?
Yes, eventually we will get to that point. For just doing the lot line that they're looking at right now is really just deleting lot lines and making one big lot. But the eventual project that that Henry was talking about, yes, there will be guidelines, and it will be referred also to our Historic Preservation Commission and also to SHPO, which is the state level historic preservation.
Great, that's my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is there. Who did I miss? Anne Marie? You sort of came in late. You have anything on this?
No, I think it's a wonderful project. We haven't had a restaurant in Accord since I was in high school, so yay.
Awesome.
All right, so on this, we can't really certify the lot line until we have the lot line with the proper owner.
Sure.
So I would say for a lot line, we've got 2 months once you present it to us to go through, I'd say come back with, square up the bit with the deeds and the owners and who's the owner, et cetera, at this point, and That should be fine.
Okay, we'll have the deed into you this week.
Any other board discussion items? Going once, going twice? All right, perfect. You have your marching plans, and we will move on to the next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maren, can we just be specific about what we're asking them for? So we just need the updated map with the correct property owners, and we just need to make sure that the deed reflects that issue with the 2 parcels on the deed being 1 parcel on the tax map. Is that what we're asking?
Exactly.
So we need an updated map, and we just need to be able to confirm that the deeding is correct.
And
Right.
you were reminding me also for whoever is doing the maps,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this on, well, it's not the map that you have that doesn't have any map details, but you should look at 125-18,
Mhm.
A, 3, and C. And those are, and Brianna can work with you with this, but you can find it on the E-codes on the town website. Those are plat notes that need to be included with this.
All right, I'll be in touch with Brianna tomorrow.
One last clarification about the deed. We closed on the property 2.5 weeks ago, but the insurance agent took literally 2 weeks to get us a quote on insuring this. So that was the delay in transferring title. But we have the quote. It's all done now.
All right, that should be perfect because that's.
Okay,
Go ahead.
this is labeled sketch map, not lot line improvement or whatever they're doing. So we
Right.
have to get the proper label on the map. And it should have, let me just, kind of hard, my eyes are getting old. It doesn't have down here who prepared it.
Yeah,
We
so,
want to make sure that the county clerk's going to accept it.
we wouldn't be turning this into the county.
Well, for a lot line improvement, you have to.
No, we would get the surveyor. We're in the process of doing a new survey map with him. My
Okay, well,
understanding-
that's what we need.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can't just take a sketch map to approve a lot line.
right. I understand.
He's saying he
Okay.
won't turn in this map.
So
he'll
don't
turn
just come in
the
with a map
better
with those changes. Come in with a map certified by a surveyor.
Right. And with the
Properly labeled.
added plat notes that we specifically require for Rochester, along with all the regular stuff that the surveyor would do.
Understood.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
All right, guys, it's our own virtual Sam Zell. I don't know if anybody besides me knows who Sam Zell is.
I do.
So next on the agenda is Planning Board 2021-02, which is a lot line improvement / it's a natural subdivision. And we have lands here that have a little bit of everything on it. As you can see from this picture, by the red is obviously Doug Road goes through the property. The red is proposed to be a new separate lot. And then a very awkward lot on the other side, which I don't know what kind of structure that is. You have a piece with sufficient lot frontage, a very skinny piece that we need to find out about, and then lands that go in the back, the lands. It's very wooded. It could have some wetlands. It's got a lot of steep slope lands. It's quite non-developable, the sort of long strip. It is very close to the Vly. So it's not, while the Vly wetland structure is not on this parcel, it is sort of within one parcel over. Lot 1, the new lot to be proposed to be carved off would all be in R2. The other is split between R2 and R5. And In the back there, you have the highest level forest layer of the DEC core forest. And you also have an area known for rare aquatic animals on the interior 1,500 feet. And that's really because it's within 500 feet of the Vly. So you have, none of that is proposed to be disturbed. It's really just splitting it with the road going through. Let me go to, this is a preliminary map. And in this preliminary map, you had some lots that were already, that had already been cut off in a previous subdivision. So if you look at some map and it says lots, doesn't really apply to this one. And this is, so the lot 1, lot 3, lot 2 that you see there, that FM means former map. The piece that we're looking at is the new 4.02 acre split by Doug Road, and then the very funky space that you have of this triangle, and then the piece you saw going back. So that's my chairman summary. Do we have the surveyor, Mr. Rich? Do you want to add anything here?
John can lead and I'll add any questions.
John, do you have anything?
Just that that funky strip that was all included as one deed with the piece across the road, and the idea is just to separate using the road.
Questions from the board? Is Patrick on? Nope. Okay, he's not here today. Zorian?
No, Patrick was trying to get in, and so he probably needs to follow up.
All right. Zorian, any comments on this?
No, except marking needs to be. This is sketch. I understand this is preliminary, right?
Yep, this is preliminary.
Yeah.
Rick?
The only question is, Mr. Post, you're the architect or you're the applicant?
I'm the surveyor, yeah.
You're the surveyor, okay.
Yeah.
Sam?
We just need a better map, just like the previous one.
I guess I have a question for Mary Lou, which is just, I was reading the natural subdivision section of our code, and it's sort of in this section in chapter 125 about lot improvements and natural subdivisions. And it was just unclear to me whether the language of lot improvements also applies to natural subdivisions. Because if it does, it seems like we would need a bunch more information here. But if it doesn't, it's kind of like we just need the
I
map.
have it pulled up. Thank you. I was pulling it up.
So this is the part right here. If you can see what I have, the parcels shall.
And my formatting got a little messed up when I cut and pasted that, Lauren.
Yeah, that's
Good.
okay. But yeah, it always
But
does.
you can
when
see
I-
there's the A1 with
Yep,
A, B, C, D, and then
Lot
there's 2,
improvements and
3, and
natural
then D.
subdivisions.
So I agreed with Sam, especially with number 2,
Because yeah.
that it does not reduce the ability of the lot from which the lot improvement parcel is taken or reconfigured to comply with applicable development standards of this law. So if by
Yeah.
taking the sort of quote unquote good 4 acres that are easy to develop out, you're left with the funky thing with the skinny piece. in
Right, like
between.
does A2 apply to B? If
Right.
not, then it's just, we don't have to do anything except approve the map, basically.
Yeah, no,
But-
it does not, but,
Okay,
but I think, again, on this map, it's good to know, Mr. Post, that you're the the surveyor, because that makes it easy. We need your seal and, you know, your certification on there. It doesn't have any of that. It doesn't.
Should.
John, have you not created that map, that final survey?
Yeah, I did. I submitted it.
So
I don't know why it's not showing up on there.
The map that I'm looking at says preliminary map of minor subdivision.
Sure, it
Doesn't
says preliminary, yes, but there should be
your
a
info,
seal.
it doesn't have your information on there.
It's
Is there another map? Am I looking at the wrong one?
This map is the only map I have. This is the preliminary. And then we have a second,
Right, we have
Right.
two preliminary maps,
we
I
have
think,
two
right?
preliminaries, exactly.
But neither of them have the surveyor's information.
Exactly. And they don't,
So we have to have everything in there that you're gonna need to get it filed in the clerk's office before
Oh,
we can
yeah.
approve it.
right.
Yeah.
And then we also will need our map
Their notes.
notes that I mentioned previously pertaining to lot line improvements and natural subdivisions, which basically come to include a map restriction to the effect that the improvement parcel will never be considered a separate building lot apart from the tract to which it's being added. And also, these plans are acknowledged by the town of Rochester and for recording purposes only to represent an exempt lot improvement in accordance with section 12518 of the town of Rochester subdivision regulation. No subdivision approval is required or given. So those are in 125-18 lot improvement and natural subdivisions. We didn't go around with everybody yet. Mr. Grasso, did you have any questions?
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Anne Marie?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I have one more question. So the little skinny piece that goes from the front to the back, is that a right of way? Is that, or it's a deeded little tiny strip?
That's deeded. That is in a deed description, which included
Okay.
the whole piece. Yeah.
This wins quite lot of the year award.
Yeah.
This is a little funky.
You can put that in your, scrapbook of strangest lots I've ever worked on as a surveyor. And Mary Lou, you're confident that this does not reduce the ability of the lot from which the lot improvement parcel is taken or reconfigured to comply with applicable development standards of this law. I mean,
It is split into A and B, one for lot improvement and one for natural subdivision.
Yeah, she's saying that clause is not applicable in this case. So we
Right,
don't
not
have
to the natural
determine-
subdivision.
We don't have to answer that question.
Got it. So natural subdivision, you just got a road going through it, you can be naturally subdivided.
Yeah, it could be a cliff on the other side
Yep.
with a bunch of wetlands and we don't have to do
You
anything.
can still do it because, got it. That's, I like it when it's a easy interpretation. So I think you should, in sort of a summary here, any other board discussion? I would say my summary is that finish up the map with the map notations that we require, with your seal, with everything that you put on regularly as a surveyor, and we should be able to certify this at the next meeting. How does that sound?
I have one question.
Yep.
Would you like it titled natural subdivision? How would you like that final title? Or just call it a minor subdivision?
No, it doesn't fall under our minor subdivision. Let's call it a natural subdivision.
Okay.
Minor subdivision has a whole another layer of hurdles you have to jump through.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
John.
you. And if you have any questions, John, after you can just call Brianna, we can clarify stuff, okay? So you got that, Sam, my super summary note taker?
Yeah, so we just need the final map with the plat notes and the corrected title and the surveyor seal.
Exactly.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. All right, next. is site plan approval. It is 2020-05 SPA. This is for American Tower Corps and various other applicants and subsidiary involved peoples. If I can find my, there we go. I'll give you this picture. So as you remember, this is to swap out some equipment, add some more equipment. And we really are pretty much at the decision level here. Allison, are you here?
I am.
Anything newsworthy in the tower industry you would like to add?
Not at this moment. So just waiting for the approval so we can begin the construction.
Okay, let's go through. Sam, you have anything to say?
No.
Zorian?
Uh, just to make sure they don't interrupt Verizon service when they change the antenna.
Okay. Rick?
No, I gave you my comments before, just
Yep.
that one comment.
Anne Marie?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Mark? You haven't even had a chance to look at any of this?
I've watched the past couple meetings, so I'm familiar. No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay. And Patrick? Patrick gave up. All right, so I have prepared a draft decision. So this is decision 20-20-05 SPA site plan approval. It is a 140-29B2 type B action. And it's a conditional final approval for American Tower Corps as the owner. Allison, is it Hebel or Hebel, for representing Centerline Communications as agent on behalf of AT&T, doing business as Singular Wireless PCS. The reason for the request was equipment upgrades consisting of the replacement of 6 antennas, 6 RRUs, adding 3 additional RRUs, adding 1 surge protector, and equipment associated with the aforementioned to existing wireless facility. No changes to the tower height or footprint are proposed. The type B action by code, which is replacement, alteration, or modification of existing transmission equipment or telecommunication structure, or the co-location of transmission equipment on an existing wireless telecommunications facility, which constitutes an eligible facilities request action as defined by the FCC. It is located at 6140 Route 209 in Kerhonkson. It is SBL 76.1-3-17. It is the old sand mine, which is now the Sand Mine Solar Farm, which is plus or minus 67 acres. And the tower pad and equipment is a whopping 3,000 square feet or 0.07 acres. It is in the AR3 zoning district. For the sake of time, and since we have this wonderful zoomation now, for the findings, I will just show them slowly. So you have all had a time to review, comment, and add. So the public, if they so desire, has a chance to be able to read this.
Marian, any way you can zoom out a little bit, zoom in?
You want to see it better, right?
Yeah, I read it, but I mean, maybe somebody else.
Well, they can always.
Can you enlarge it? Can
I
you
did
enlarge
enlarge
that window in the court?
That is not going to help your problem. You need to enlarge the font, Sweet Pea. That's
No,
good.
it's okay. It's, I see now. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so the draft findings were prepared by the chairman, were read, discussed, and amended by the planning board. You did read them, Any discussion or amendment after reading them? All right, do I have a motion to adopt the findings?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Second, sorry.
And
Okay,
let's do a roll call just because it is on Zoom, even though usually we can just do ayes and nays. Brianna?
Chair Lindstrom,
Yep.
Mr. Sarofsky,
Yes.
Mr. Williams is not here, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky,
yes.
Ms. Maloney,
Yes.
and Mr. Grasso.
Yes.
All right. Thus, pursuant to the standards of the Town of Rochester Code 140 zoning, the Town of Rochester Planning Board has reviewed the application presented and grant site plan conditional final approval for Centerline Communications as the agent applicant on behalf of American Tower, AKA AT&T, doing business as Singular Wireless PCS, providing the maintenance and upgrading of the leased cell tower land situated at 6140 Route 209, Cohunxin, New York, which is SBL 76 spot 1-3-17 and located in the AR3 zoning. Conditions of approval: any and all fees due to the Town of Rochester involved in this application shall be paid in full prior to the chairman's signature on the site plan. All local, county, state, and federal laws or codes shall be complied with for the current or future use of these lands. And I added this, a receipt of certification that the proposed upgrades of antennas and equipment associated with the aforementioned will not cause interference with other telecommunications devices. We did request this on the previous upgrade, if everybody is in agreement with that condition being added. The effect of the approval, the special use and site plan approval, is really a site plan approval. And associated conditions shall be binding upon the applicant and all successive owners of the land so long as such uses shall occur. This approval shall remain effective as an authorization to secure the required permits and establish the uses for a maximum of 1 year from this date of approval, unless the applicant shall have submitted written request and the planning board shall have adopted such resolution granting an extension, and provided the applicant has submitted proof of having diligently pursued the implementation of the plans. The draft resolution was prepared by the chairman, read, discussed, and amended by the planning board, and we further grant the authority to the chairman to certify conditions 1 and 3 have been completed, that further resolution to sign and date the plat at such time. Any discussion or amendments that anybody would add to the conditions? Going once, going twice. All right. A motion to adopt the conditional final approval.
I've made a motion.
A second?
I second it.
And do a roll call, please.
Chair Lindstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Sarofsky,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky,
Yes.
Ms. Maloney,
Yes.
Mr. Grasso.
Yes.
All right, so that is duly decided upon and approved, and when we get the final site plan with those conditions, that is good to go. Allison, thank you for your patience. And
Thank you.
you are free.
Sounds good. Have a great night.
You too. Next on the docket is Olga Byrne. This is Planning Board 2020-06 for a minor subdivision. You should all be familiar with this. This is the subdivision located at 2002 Queens Highway. It started as 5 lots, went down to 3, has various topographical, etc. constraints. We had a conditional negative declaration, which is not the same as a negative declaration. Things need to be fulfilled with this on 12/14. We still have a public hearing open, and we received some more information through public hearing, some of it somewhat disconcerting. And we also have received from, and we'll use the latest, from the surveyor, the latest, this beautiful heat map we now have, we now can get used to seeing this, shows, it's a slope analysis. So you will see where the houses are located. Red is obviously steeper, the steepest slope, orange less steep, and then green unsteepy, if that's a word. We are having CPL work with this on this application. And I think maybe it would be best in our new structure to have Liz of CPL go through her analysis. And since we have outsourced largely, this is a lot of constraints that are beyond our capabilities, and see what she has come up with in her preliminary analysis. And then we can have the applicant speak, and then we can move to the public also after some board comment. Liz, are you there? You're kidding me.
Hello.
Hi, Liz.
Hi. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm better now.
Perfect.
Brianna, you are amazing. She's been working to try to get me in the meeting. I've been having a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah, we had some meeting snafuation this time, but we'll get there.
It's okay. We're gonna move right along. So I'm gonna just talk to you from I started drafting a memo. What I did was I took a look at the, pretty much all the materials, and really focused on the more current 3-lot subdivision. And I basically just started going through the code just to see how well does it match up. And, also with the concern in mind that I could tell from looking at it that those 3 lots that are proposed, and I want to say that they are on the eastern side of the site, more or less, seem to have a little tiny bit of land up near, I'm going to say, the top that is somewhat rolling topography, and that the rest of it just slopes down. Kind of hard to tell just how steeply, but there are 10-foot contours in some places, so it looks like it slopes steeply down. I can see that an effort was made to try to stay away from the 100-foot corridor lines that are shown on there. But I also saw, it just seemed like the lots were crammed in. And without getting into specifics, looking at the design, it looked like if the western line of each of those lots was moved further to the west, that each one of them could have land that is much friendlier to constructing septic and home. So that was kind of my general, reaction to the overall design. And then let's see. There's more information that I would like to see. So obviously, I would really like to see a steep slopes map, which I understand you have something. I don't know if you have new materials on this, but a steep slopes map I felt would be very helpful. And I'm just realizing now that I printed the wrong, I apologize. Printed the wrong review letter that I did. But the one thing that I also observed in terms of the overall design has to do with the driveway situation. It looks to me like the driveway you're going to end up with two driveways right next to each other at a point in the road where there's kind of a curve. I tried to take a trip on Google Earth Street View to try to get a better idea of that. So I ended up with another general concern, other than that the three lots seem to be just have this very small amount of buildable, what I would call buildable area that's reasonable. But in addition, the proposal would end up with basically 4 homes coming off of 2 driveways at a spot in the road that doesn't look like it has great sight distance. So that's another concern. And one of the recommendations I would like to make, I realized that the reason that the one lot to the north was to be sort of separated out and no longer part of a shared driveway has to do with the limit on the number of lots that can come off a shared driveway. So I understand the reason for wanting to separate off that one existing lot, but I think it creates an unsafe access situation. So my recommendation would generally be to consider doing a very short private road to try to look reasonably at the specs for a private road that's short, to try to come up with a way to use the driveways coming off of it as part of the turnaround at the end, rather than building a big giant turnaround. So basically, do a small private road, come up with reasonable specifications for 4 homes, and see if that could work. So those are kind of general recommendations, but I'd like to get into some of the specifics. Let's see. So just kind of going lot by lot. Lot 1 seems to contain all or most of the nearly level to rolling terrain. That's the lot with the existing home and buildings. And the newer lots seem to be just having this skimpy wedge of decent land. I was puzzled by the fact that the proposed septic system for lot 2 is located at the bottom of a steep slope and close to the stream corridor. Now I realize it's outside the stream corridor, but it just seems like the least optimal place for a septic system to be, whereas the reserve area is up near the home. So that puzzled me. And it's just one among many signs that I could tell there's an attempt to create a decent design, but there's also a kind of squeezing of these 3 lots to have them be the minimum size necessary given the constrained terrain. The same thing's kind of true of lot 3, where the septic system is located within woodlands and close to the stream corridor and wetlands, but again, farther from the proposed dwelling. And that lot 3 configuration would involve clearing woodlands near streams and wetlands, which should be avoided. Again, this kind of goes back to the standards, your design standards and your regulations. And I cite them in the notes that I've made. And again, I would like to see a steep slopes map. The categories I would recommend for a steep slopes map, and again, I don't know if you have something in hand, would be 0 to 10%, 10 to 15%, and 15 to 25%, and then 25% or greater. 0 to 10% obviously being the optimal grade, 10 to 15 being reasonable for certain aspects. And I really feel that once you get to 15 to 25, that's kind of a stretch. And I could see that the board had really looked into this and there was a concern about existing and proposed access. And again, I've gone over that I think it doesn't make sense at this point on Queens Highway to create another point of access. And if there was a single entrance for the 4 lots that would result, there would be less disturbance overall. Again, you're on a wooded roadside, so I believe less disturbance would be a good thing in the long run. Even though in the short run, I'm sure that the applicant would probably rather not have to construct a private road. I would think there's a way to come up with appropriate standards. Let's see. Again, I think I've already spoken about reconfiguring lots to provide more favorable level to rolling terrain on lots 1 and 2, more of it, understanding it's in short supply. And then it wasn't clear to me what the status of Sawmill Court was. It shows up on mapping applications as a short road, but it's labeled as an existing driveway, so I wasn't sure, does that little shared driveway have some kind of road status already in terms of usage? And again, maybe the existing driveway or road could be used as a basis for considering, you know, some kind of reasonable design for a small private road. The zoning table looks about right. I see that each lot seems to have enough road frontage, but I don't think any of the road frontage is usable. Let's see. And then I wasn't sure, it looks like it's likely to exceed the 1 acre limit for disturbance. So I believe that stormwater pollution prevention plan is likely to be required, or at a minimum, an erosion and sedimentation control plan, but I didn't happen to have that area labeled. So I also had, let's see. I looked at this as a minor subdivision because it was 3 lots and it appeared that's how you were proceeding. Let's see. Then I thought it would be good in the long run, this is getting more specific, that there be some plan notation added to the maps prohibiting the construction of structures or other improvements such as septic access, parking, or other improvements within the 100-foot buffer area of the stream and wetlands. Also, notation to prohibit clearing of vegetation, trees, understory, native ground cover, et cetera, within the 100-foot buffer of the stream and wetlands. And again, going back to the septic and anything that would have to be done to connect to the septic that's near the wet area and stream corridor, there would be a considerable amount of disturbance and removal of woodland to construct that. So I viewed that as another thing that said, you know, this isn't such a great idea. Let's see. And then, you know, disturbance to be limited so that tree clearing would only be allowed between April 1st and October 31st to protect spring and summer nesting habitat of the Indiana bat. Notation prohibiting vegetative clearing in the core forest lands as defined by New York State DEC. Some of this I took from your conditional secret negative declaration, which I was very impressed with. So those are my macro comments. I really felt like we could ask for more information about the site, but I can tell from what information has been provided that it seems like there may be a better way to do this. And there does seem to be enough land to be able to provide possibly more reasonable developed area up high. It would mean taking the larger lot and giving up some of that decent land toward these lots. And of course, the other alternative would be to come up with a plan where maybe only, I guess it would be, I wish I could look at a plan right now, where maybe there's one lot.
You can't see on the,
No, I'm on my cell phone. I couldn't get on.
okay.
Maren, I have the
I'm
lot
so
up
sorry.
on my screen if I could share. if that helps any.
Well, it's up being shared to everybody right now. She just is on her
Yeah.
phone. She's not seeing anything. We all
I
see
also
it right now.
don't think she has the most recent plan from based on her comments, because we did submit a slope analysis and a soil erosion and sediment control plan and relocated the houses.
You just have a basic, we haven't seen any of that either. What you're looking at right now is the most recent that we have.
That
Is this
actually
the
is,
middle that? is this
we
the
did
submittal
submit
that
a
just
slope
came in?
plan on the 14th.
I realize
believe.
that. I've been going back and forth. Have you seen? This is the slope plan.
Okay, let me look at my Zoom because I'm looking at my Google Drive right now. Yes, so she does have a slope plan. Okay.
Yeah, she had that up before.
Yep.
I'm not sure what she's asking for then in terms of slope analysis plan, I guess.
Okay,
First
you
off.
can tell me, I have the received materials. Hang on a second.
Okay,
if
great,
there's-
great. Because we did do a slope analysis and we did move the
Can you
houses.
tell me the PDF name of it?
Let me,
125-2021 burn slope analysis.
I don't have anything that's 2021.
It's in there. It's on in the CPL folder
Oh.
on Google Drive. It's 125-2021 burn slope analysis. It's the colored one.
I grabbed a bunch of stuff
Well,
in the
I
beginning
think
of January.
at this juncture, Liz can take some more time to look through some of these specifics, but I think some of the general overview is that we're cramping this development on the toughest part of the land, and to throw it out, if the applicant wants to stick with this as it is, it might be difficult. It might be difficult to be approved, and there is an optionality at this juncture, because this is just an overview from CPL. This isn't a formal recommendation or formal. We are trying to give some optionality and save some money here. To maybe reconfigure the lot.
Are there transmittals that the applicant has submitted that list all of the items they've submitted?
there was a hard copy with, submitted with the hard copies, and I could pull up the email if you'd
Well,
like, or I could simply send you a Google link to my submissions folder if you'd like.
Why don't you do that if it's gonna?
Is this Brianna speaking? I don't know who's speaking.
No, this is
It's
actually,
Heather who was speaking.
I'm the agent for the applicant.
Well, I want to look at whatever the town has.
That's
So-
kind of what I'm feeling like. We almost should put a pin in this because I did address several of your concerns, and I don't want to waste any more time.
I'm
looking-
sort of
talking
agreeing
about
with
I apologize. I didn't realize there was a new submittal. I had stuff, the latest stuff that I grabbed was from January 11, 2021. I didn't realize there was new stuff.
We did do some new stuff.
Right.
So yes.
I thought you had gotten, this was sent to you, so yeah, I think you're right,
Okay.
Heather. We should put a pin on this at this juncture. There is some additional, the public hearing is open, and there is some additional information that has come in that we should probably let the public address. at this
Right, as opposed to on the fly, right now. That
And-
doesn't seem quite right.
Right, so right now, since the public hearing is open, I would like to address some added information that's come in from the public. And we'll add that into it, and we'll regroup on some of these other issues, so. Dear planning board members, at the January meeting, I have noticed some changes and mischief happening on the proposed subdivision located on Queens Highway. At the conclusion of the meeting, it was decided that an engineer would come and make an assessment of the land and the grade of the slope, water, etc. Within the next days to follow, there were people in the stream bed on this land pulling rocks out of the stone walls that have been there for a long time. Clearly, someone had the idea to quickly get in and try and alter what has been shown by the photos my parents sent you from the last meeting before a fair assessment could be completed by an engineer. This seems very inappropriate and sneaky and a lack of character in my mind. The fact that someone is changing the land before it even has a chance to be evaluated makes me wonder what else will be covered up or hidden in the future if this subdivision comes to fruition. Please be aware of what is happening in this property because this isn't the first time unusual things have happened there since the new owners have taken possession. Please look at the attached photos and you can see the rock piles left after the stones are removed to change the flow of water. I've lived here 32 years and I know when something is different, and this just happened after the meeting. It's a little hard to see transmitted this way, but you can see the change in the rocks in the stream.
Can I have a copy of that, Maren? I can't really tell at this scale what's happening.
Yeah, it's very hard.
there,
You can have a copy. You can't have a copy ahead of time. You have to wait till it's in a public hearing. We can send
Okay.
a copy to you. If this is true, it's quite disturbing.
Though note that
Because-
one of your planning board members did say, why don't they take down the dam and the water?
I don't
may
care what a
flow?
planning board member says, but Environmental Conservation Article 15, Water Resource Title 5, Protection of Water, you know that as well as anybody, Heather. You cannot, this is in violation of DEC disturbance of stream beds and you need a permit. This is a named stream. So nobody should have been in there touching that water, even if somebody says something. That's somebody speaking an opinion on the fly at a planning board meeting. So I would advise the applicant to, if they would like to alter the stream, they talk to the DEC and get a permit to alter the stream. Other than that, don't alter the name stream. So that was that was the only new submission that we had in writing. As the public hearing is open, is there anybody else that would like to speak about this application and in the public hearing at this juncture? All right, we're going.
Mark, well,
Yeah.
do you want me to like go through just a few? There's
Go through and
only
ask.
there's
Go
only
through-
one other person that I know of that I don't recognize. So
Yeah, go through and ask the telephone number if they'd like to speak.
it's a name. So
Oh, perfect. Names are better.
Bethany, are you here to speak about the burn application? You can unmute yourself. She didn't say anything.
All right, that says nothing. We're going somewhat backwards here, Sam, to your protocol, because I wanted Liz to do her presentation and we ended up getting a bit derailed here. Do you?
Yeah,
what-
my apologies for not, I'm looking through my email to find what was sent, and I'll
well-
follow up with Brianna.
What does the board think? Should we table this for this juncture? Leave the, make a motion to leave the public hearing open?
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, leave the public hearing open. I did just have a quick comment on the slope map, which was just, there was no key on it. I guess I assume that the kind of green, yellow, and different shades of red probably matched to the 0 to 10, 10 to 15, but just a
It
key
does,
of some
Sam. I'm
kind.
sorry. It got turned off in the paper space. But yeah, the green is exactly the breakdown she wanted. The red you want to stay out of.
So green is 0 to 10, yellow is 10 to 15, orange is what?
Is 15 to 25, and then red is 25 and over.
Okay, thanks.
If you can put that on the map,
That would be helpful.
that would be
Absolutely.
very helpful, because I had the same thing. I went, it looks like it's pretty, but it didn't mean
It does
anything
without
to
a
me.
legend. Yeah, it's not so pretty when you look at it otherwise. But,
I thought it was
So,
a paint,
the
I
public
thought it was a
hearing-
painting.
Because what we're looking at here is putting a house where we highly discourage not putting houses at slopes 25 or wedged between, either 25 and above or wedged in between, especially on lot 2.
I did want to throw in there, I understand that these lines look a little arbitrary, but they're actually not. The one that's running northeasterly, southwesterly, that's along an existing stone wall, and we're utilizing an existing woods road. So we're trying to minimize erosion as much as we can by, and also going along the guidelines in the design standards of using existing stone walls as property bounds. So we could jump over, but then we're going to be jumping over a stone wall. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Heather, since we want to like go through more of this, but I would say, let's put the common sense test forward here. Steep slopes onto a overflowing stream versus a stone wall. I think having the road using, there's another old woods road there that could also be used and move the houses farther back and abdicate all of these problems. But lot 1 would have to give up some of 8.9 acres. So I think that the applicant should maybe think about that as another option. That's one thing we got from our consultant right now. And we'll synergize back together with Medenbach and Eggers, Heather, CPL, and Brianna to make sure that everybody knows how to get on Google Drive and sees what's going on. So I have a motion to, Rick made a motion to keep the public hearing open. Do I have a second?
Second.
Maren,
Yes.
you have to, are you keeping it open until next month?
Keeping it open until next month, yes, at least.
Okay, that should be part of the motion.
So a motion to keep it open until next month. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Against? Abstain. All right, that went smashingly.
Maren, do we need?
No, we're done on that, guys. You had your chance to speak. We went around, we had the open.
So our conclusion on that one is we're keeping the public comment open, and we're, Medenbach and Eggers is gonna do some additional submissions and then make sure that CPL has the right stuff. So
And
that,
I think that Medenbach and Eggers and CPL should arrange a call together, perhaps with myself or with you, Sam, on it. So that everybody get on the same page and get on the same maps and get on the same everything, because that was clearly a bit of a review confusion. So I think that,
exactly, that's what I wanted to say, to make process more efficient.
Right.
do we need to authorize that? I don't remember when we did that, like with the solar project, did we have to do something in our procedure to authorize that direct communication, or we can just say go for it?
no, they can talk to each other.
You can just say go for it.
Yeah, you can say go for
Then go for it.
in the technical term,
Okay.
go for it.
So let me just, I see the material, I see there are 4 things that were submitted dated 1/25/21
Yep.
in the Google Drive, and thank you, Brianna, for that. I really appreciate it. And then, but there's more material coming.
No,
So-
at this juncture, this is all we have, Liz. So if you need
So
more
can I go
material.
ahead and finish? No, wait, if I could do a review letter based on this new material.
Please do.
We thought that you were using this new material to do the preliminary review, but we've gotten to the same place that I think your preliminary review was trying to go, which is these are awkward, tough spots that
Yeah.
probably it would be work easier and better if there was one road cut and a small private road.
Yep.
And if the subdivision, the lots 2 and 3 were changed so they could put the structures back on the flat land, it would be more approvable. But if they want to stick with this, then there's going to be more information that is needed, and the new information that came up that was submitted by the public, stop messing around with the stream or get a DEC permit.
Yeah, and the slope map is very helpful. I mean, you know, what I could do is take this material that, and I started review notes and come up with a review memorandum and then issue it and then have this offline meeting. So that
That
at
would be
least we're
great.
working from a set of
That
comments.
sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. Go,
Yeah.
let's do that. That sounds perfect.
Do you need me to provide you with a legend? I'll just send one off to you, Liz, just so you have it, but it's the usual.
Say again?
Yeah, you guys, let's move this on. And you talk about, I mean, the legend should be on there for the planning board anyway. So put the legend on the map.
On which map? On the steep
On
slopes?
the
On the
slope.
slopes.
On the slopes.
Yep, okay. So, yeah, so if
Because
that
you
would
have,
be
there are specifics that you said you would like as additional information, which was, there was a reconfigured lot 1 and 2. All we have is a basic SWIP. We don't have a site-specific basic SWIP even for each one of those houses. This will probably
Do we
take,
know? Right, okay.
and you need to ask that of the applicant and of the engineer. So I think you guys need to get together and I can sit in with that, or Sam can sit in and be pipsqueaks, and you can run through all of that. But I don't think we need to keep everybody else here going through the minutia at this juncture.
Yeah, and if it's okay with the board, I think I'd like to get the review out in writing so the board has it, so they know what I'm communicating with the applicant's representatives about, okay?
All right, that's perfect.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
All right, the
And
next
thanks,
one
Deanna, for helping me. Bye.
that this went in is Verna Gillis, which is a major subdivision, which is really a lot line. But it's a major subdivision because this is a previous subdivision. We did get an answer as to Sam's question, why it has that funky little, looks like a can opener, crook in it instead of a straight line. That's because Verna wants to keep a grove of trees here. The reason they are doing this is to put these well and septic that is on right now on a separate property, on the property that is using the well and septic. They are both accessed by Chipmunk Hollow off and then on to Dogham's Way. We have so there's a picture of the property. We asked them to do a waiver request. That's big enough for Zorian. Because for all intents and purposes, this acts, tastes, and feels like a lot line, but because it was previously subdivided, it falls under a major subdivision. So Ms. Gillis would like to convey the lands that contain existing well and septic system to her neighbor. Since the lots involved fall within existing subdivision, this is classified as a major subdivision. On behalf of the applicants who request, the planning board would like to formally request waivers from the provisions of section 125-14 sketch plans for major subdivisions, as this action is essentially a lot line improvement and does not include the creation of a new lot. Current map of the proposed action is prepared in conformance with section 125-18 lot improvements and natural subdivisions. That's my intro. Heather, do you have anything?
I mean, you think you summed it up pretty great. There's really not much else to this compared to the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness. Zorian, any comments? I'm taking that as a no. Anne Marie? Rick?
No, I'm fine.
Sam?
No, but thanks for the waiver request and the answer to the question.
Mark?
Yeah, I do have a question. I don't see this on my agenda. Can you bring me up to speed on this one, please?
Yeah, it's not on the agenda because we had a snafu in the waiver being posted. So the agenda sometimes I just put it on just for your edification. if there are any changes or additions beyond the published agenda that is on the town website, they will be in our Google Drive under agenda. So if something is added at the end or a discussion, this is you can see in the upper corner, you have a large lot. You have I'm going to kill their name, the Rosen, Worsel, and Pose, that have a parcel that they bought from Verna Gillis. So she split the larger parcel down. That just shows that much. And this little chunk down at the bottom with that Dogham's Way curves around. She wants to convey that to, Verna Gillis wants to convey that to the Rosen, Worsel, and Poe team, because their septic is on her land. It's on this piece there. So
Makes
that
sense.
way their septic will be with their house.
Got
So
it.
it's 0.68 acres to go there, which now, because under our subdivision law, the areas around it, if you look at an old map, this was subdivided a long time ago. So anytime you do anything to a previous subdivision, it becomes a major subdivision. In this case, it becomes a major subdivision, but it really isn't a major subdivision. So we asked for the applicant to request waivers from having to do everything you need to do in a major subdivision, like drawing roads, topography. I mean, there's lots and lots of things you need to do. So we said, if you submit a waiver, that would probably suffice, and we could treat this in a more expeditious manner.
I'm good. Thank you very much for that.
And so I need a vote, though, to accept the waiver.
I'll make a motion to accept the waiver as read by the chair.
A second?
Second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's a good aye. Against? Abstain. I think this one, in light of this, it still needs to be treated as a major subdivision. So I would like to make a motion to set it for a public hearing for the next regularly scheduled meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Against? Abstain.
Can I just comment, Heather, can you make sure that you change this map title from lot line improvement to subdivision to preliminary? Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Mary Lou. There's one other question I had is, because is it a private road / shared driveway? Mary Lou, it is a major subdivision. Do we need to get copies of the road maintenance agreement, shared driveway for this?
Do we already have that from, whenever it was done before? I don't know.
I do not know.
I don't have it at the tip of my fingers. I'm not sure either, but I could pull up the old filed map and see what I can find. But we're not changing the access at all to either of the lots.
Yeah, I know you're not, but I just want to make sure that is not something that is within the 125-14 waiver that you asked. You would have asked for waivers for everything that has to do with it. So if we can have access.
Do you know when the original subdivision was, Heather or Brianna?
1985. Here's the original subdivision.
Thank you.
But it's
Okay.
not easy to. You can't obviously see it like this right
Number
now.
609, 63.
My guess is there probably is not a road maintenance agreement if it's from 1985.
That's
So
sort
one
of what-
should be prepared, and
Exactly.
if this is eventually approved, it should be filed with the map.
Okay.
That was what I was thinking. Thank you, Mary Lou. When I looked at this, I sort of figured that didn't look like it had a road maintenance agreement and a shared driveway agreement. Anything else?
Which one?
Pardon?
Which one is this? A Dogmay on the map? Dogums Way?
Both Chipmunk Hollow and Dogum's Way are private roads or shared driveways with names, or I don't know what they are, but they're not town roads. You Heather, you could try calling. I mean, I try calling the highway department. Quite often they know where the bodies lie on this also, along with checking the what was filed fully.
Yeah, I can see what I can dig up. We might even have it in our archives down in the basement.
Right, or if it was actually done, my guess is there isn't one. If there is one, it probably would have been filed in the county clerk's office, so you
with
can
the
go
date.
into their land records and see if they're, just check those names and see if anything is filed.
All right, so we have this set for public hearing. We have some anything else you can think, Mary Lou, that in this weird one where it's a lot line, but it still is a major subdivision that should be cleaned
know.
up? That was the one thing that stuck out to me that could be cleaned up because of the private roads. All right, anybody else? So Sam, we need shared driveway and road maintenance agreement investigation. We need a change from a lot line improvement to a map of subdivision.
Revised subdivision, re-subdivision, is there a preferred term?
Yeah.
Amended subdivision.
Amended subdivision.
There we go. I knew there was one.
And we will probably at some point, Heather, at the end, have some other map notations that I can look at, because this was, I don't think it is not in an ag district. We don't have to have that. There'll be some standard map notations, which I can send to you if we want to get that, but we still have the public hearing to go, so we can go through that also at the.
So I'll wait for the public hearing before I issue a final map. I take it.
Yeah,
see what
that would
the
probably
notes-
be
Okay.
safe. That'd be safe just in case.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from anybody else on the board? All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Heather.
Oh, but you're not done with me yet.
No, I know. And she's back. Look at this.
Ta-da!
So maybe, I guess we can go straight to the. So the next on the docket is Planning Board 2020-11, which is Shoemaker, owner and applicant. It's a major subdivision. Once again, this is a situation where it, for all intents and purposes, is a minor subdivision, but because it was previously subdivided, they have their enormous farm and they keep pulling off small pieces at the periphery for family members. So it is a re-subdivision then, so it becomes a major subdivision. They submitted a waiver request, which we approved at the last, which is here. Is that right? No, that is their original.
It was approved. It was not at the
I know it was
workshop.
approved. I just am
Yeah.
exactly. I'm not finding where it is. Well, we approved it at the workshop meeting.
I think so. I can't keep track anymore.
You know, we can.
It was approved at the regular meeting, Lauren.
It was approved at the regular meeting.
January 11th.
Okay, I knew we had did it. I can't remember which of our 10 gazillion meetings. So Heather, I think that's enough of a chair introduction. Do you want to go through a little bit because you have to smush the pictures together, explain it a bit for everybody?
I do. I don't know if it would help to share my screen as opposed to yours. I don't think you guys do that, do you? But yes, we put a little more detail on the preliminary plan where we have contours showing and as well as the proposed house, proposed driveway, proposed septic disposal area. to give you a better idea of what we're doing. But essentially, he's going to be cutting off about 3 acres near near his property bounds near St. Joseph's Road. And then there is another 3-acre parcel off of Lawrence Road. I keep wanting to say St. Lawrence Road. Same thing, we have a proposed house, septic, well location. You can see that there's more than enough room for a home site there. The site near the St. Joseph actually has a septic approval application underway. So the plan that is on there is what's in front of the health department. I'm not sure if it was approved or not. I want to say it is, but I'm not 100% sure. And I apologize for that, but it is underway. That I can tell you. Other than that, nothing too surprising. I mean, they all have access off of the town road. There's no steep slopes. There's no real catastrophes we need to address here. I believe anyway. The board, of course, may have different opinions, but I don't know. What do you think?
All right, let's go around. Rick, do you have anything?
Fine.
Thank you, Rick. That was easy and succinct.
I know, I'm like, he's already done. Anne Marie. Any comments, Anne Marie?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Mark?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Sam? Sam, I am. We'll take that as a no. Zorian?
No.
You're muted, Sam.
No comment.
Yeah, I have a question. What is SDA? Is it septic? What's standing for?
I'm sorry, what are you asking?
SDA propose, is that septic? What's that abbreviation stand for?
The SDA is the primary septic disposal area, and the SRA would be the reserve area should the primary fail.
Okay, and another question I have, since we are so particular about slope lines, how do we know what is the grade here?
You can see that the contours are there. I don't know exactly what the slope is, but it's a gentle slope. You can see I've got 2-foot contours, and I believe it's less than 10% there. 1 inch is 100 on the map, but I can't calculate that on your screen, but I could do that on mine.
I don't see any elevation anywhere. That's why I cannot relate. What was the distance between those lines?
It's 2 feet. The vertical is 2 feet. It's sloping downwards to the north towards the river, and the scale is 1 to 100. So
we should probably add some numbers in there.
Yeah, I'm realizing the contour numbers aren't showing on that section of the map, but you can see that it is a downhill slope. It's not a up and a down. It's a grade.
Right. So I'd say for the next iteration of plan, we put some contour numbers in there just to have them.
Yeah.
And Sam, did you have anything? You were muted.
No, sorry, I froze up. I was just gonna, on Rick's behalf, ask if there were any special trees, but that was just a joke.
Barry just chimed in because he's got the hard copy on his desk. It's 11% is the grade there.
I did not pull up and look on this. For what I can do is, I believe there was nothing of the habitat, etc. difficulties in any of this. I will double check that.
There is a stream at the
right.
back end.
Exactly, and you do show the buffer, so that's already taken care of.
Yeah.
There's a stream and there's a buffer, but I don't think the forest lands had any issues. I will
Not
double
that
check.
came up on the EAF, but I didn't.
Exactly, not that, I didn't think any came up either. I will double check that for everybody. I didn't get around to it to see if that needs to be added in for the public hearing, next iteration that we'll go through. This does have to be referred to quite a few. We need to send some letters out.
Okay.
It should go to SHPO, correct, guys? It should go to Ulster County Planning Board. It's in the Ag District, so, and it also, the Shoemaker, they have.
Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker, I can't, I'll never be able
I
to say
know,
it.
she won't.
You know what? Everybody just give me a hall pass. I will never be able to do it. You know, I actually got Medica haunts. You have to be proud of me for doing that.
I had someone who could not stop saying Medica chunks. That was.
You get it stuck in your head one way. Every time I want to say it, and I know it's going to be wrong, and it still comes out. Because we have historic properties, it should go to the HPC to review. It should go to the fire and highway. Did I forget anything, Mary Lou or anybody?
I don't think so.
Is there anything you need me to do in order to make that happen, or you're all good? It's on your end.
No, that is actually on our end. How refreshing,
Yeah,
No,
I
you
think that
guys.
before we send it to the county, we should get that scale in for the contours because they're gonna ask for it.
Yes.
Sure. I'll send you a revised
So
map
if you can
tomorrow.
get that to us as soon as possible,
Right.
so
we
that
can get it
Brianna will
in.
be able to send it
Sure.
Are
in.
you sure you don't want her to do SHPO? Because that would be nice.
We have a number already. I mean, it's
Oh,
no.
I'll do it. I'm just SHPO is my enemy.
Hey, our guy has no problem with SHPO, so anytime.
Can I comment? Well, you're gonna have to vote on sending those things
Yes,
if you
I
want
know
to do that first.
Yeah, I was just
Mary
checking
Lou,
with
you're
that
no fun.
everybody. So I'm making a motion to send to SHPO, Ulster County Planning Board, the HPC, Accord Fire, and Town Highway. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Against? Abstain?
And can I add something?
Yes.
On this map, Heather, can you do what you did on the last one and reference the filed subdivision map?
Sure.
And this should also be amended, you know, the same sort of title.
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I think we are fine here to make a motion for public hearing, unless anybody thinks we really need anything more. I don't hear no, so I will make a motion to set this for public hearing for the next regularly scheduled March meeting.
I'll second it.
All in
I will
favor?
second. Okay.
Aye.
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 Against, abstain. All right, I think we're okay here. And Heather, you still get to stay, don't you?
Do
Heather's
exactly how I want to spend my Mondays.
Me too.
You guys ever thought about Tuesday? Just throwing it out there.
I have other meetings on Tuesday.
It's because of Mary Lou's conflicting
We're just a fun
meetings.
group to hang out with on Monday, Heather.
Yeah, we used to be Tuesdays. We
All
used
right.
to be Tuesdays and they changed it to Mondays for me.
All
Sorry.
right. It's okay. It's a warm spot in the week. There we go.
All right, where do I begin on our next?
Oh, Henry Rich, come on. We're in a good place with this application.
For 2020-04 SUP. We have a public hearing for this and a continued application. This special use permit for the conversion of an existing pottery studio into a grocery convenience store and office space. And it is located at 19 and 23 Main Street and Scenic Accord SBL 77.9-1-37.100. It is a type 2 for seeker, so we do not have to go through seeker.
You got it. You said Accord.
I know.
Awesome.
You know
You
what?
knew why I
That
made
was
that
7.
noise, right,
that was
Anne Marie?
7 It was 7 years to get me to that, and now
I
maybe 7
guess.
years from now I'll get the whatever their last name is, really big farm people that I.
The Schoon Makers, and then we'll work on Pawtuckum.
That's a hard one.
Exactly, spoon maker. My hands are sweating right now. You're making me nervous, Mary Beth.
Sorry.
All right, so we finally did get at the under the last hour. Heather sent a narrative that squared away all our. This is a trauma, but we finally got the total proposed customer area for both the retail shop and the grocery is 2,480 square feet. We were supposed to have 14 parking spaces. We asked for it to be reduced. They asked for it to be reduced. We approved the waiver to have it 9 spaces. And we approved the waiver for the sizing to be different of the alleyways in between. I think I can find in all of this. Can I? The latest, greatest?
It should be the January 18th submission
Yeah,
that
exactly.
you're looking for.
Yep, this is it.
Okay.
So this is our most recent. As you all remember, on the existing asphalt drive, that was to be a loading area, and we decided jointly that that really wouldn't work as a loading area. And so it is noted on the plan under notes that you can see to the corner there that the loading will be done before opening hours and after opening hours in the central revised parking area right in the middle here. And we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parking spaces. As said, they are 11 by 18 on the far side, on the right-hand side of the general retail. So that gives them a little bit more size and room to maneuver around, since the driveway part of it is going to be tight at 18. And paving is only going to be on for handicap parking. Everything else will be in gravel. So we have 1 handicap parking as per code. That's good. And not a lot of impermeable surface there. We have, I'll let everybody go through. Anything that you could think to add, Heather? We've sort of, before the board have any questions?
I just, just wanted to throw out there that, we mitigated the issues with the parking by widening the parking spaces, but I think you covered that, which is why we lost 2 spaces. And everything that's in the dark gray is paved. Everything that's white will remain as gravel, if that helps graphically for anyone. So it's also going to be the crosswalk that's going between the 2 buildings will be paved as well.
Regarding, there's going to be, as it is, this will have to go back to the Department of Health. And as it is, there will be no public bathrooms. There will only be bathrooms for the people who work there, correct? And
that is correct. I'm not sure why the Department of Health needs to be involved, but we can have an off-camera meeting about that.
Well, we're going to refer to them anyway because they were at the Gateway meeting. So
okay.
They're going to get the whole final. They should see the whole final what ended up.
Okay.
So DOH and Department of Public Works, they were both at the Gateway, so they should see the final where we are.
Okay.
Water septic. There are 2 septic systems less than 50 feet separation from the well. They can't make the 200-foot separation requirement. UC Health recommends abandoning septic behind the house as a possibility with the potential to meet 100-foot separation to meet Ag and Markets public water supply requirements. One for 2 buildings, the public water supply. Testing will be required for transient non-community. No coffee, no food at proposed by the applicant may not be appropriate if washing of food is required as part of the operation. So they need to be involved, and it needs to be written into our code that there's going to be nothing here that anybody has to touch food, wash food, make coffee, clean a cup, do anything, because the Department of Health basically said they can't do it. DPW, they had a site distance, site triangle issue, and some signage.
Well, we're going to take out the taller trees, so they won't be in the sight line there. The sign that the DPW was referring to is not on our property, so we don't have any jurisdiction over that.
And we spoke about doing a crosswalk so people would know when they go. I'm just refreshing you guys on what was spoken about at the Gateway meeting. Sidewalk along site frontage and connecting to the buildings. The mid-block crosswalk to facilitate movement to existing municipal was discussed. UC DPW does not typically approve mid-block crosswalks and is unlikely to do so, as they provide a false sense of safety when not located at controlled intersections. So that was scrapped as an idea for indication to go to, for overflow to go into the municipal parking lot where the overflow would be. Employees will be parking in the municipal parking lot. They will not be parking here. They also wanted a hammerhead for deliveries and the single family home driveway to facilitate turnaround. That's been abdicated by not using the skinny 10-foot driveway between the home and the grocery store, but using the open center parking area, so they will have room to turn around. I have a couple other questions, but I will let anybody else in the board have any questions.
Hi.
That was the summary of what we have. Anne Marie?
Just maybe I'm not reading it correctly. Where is the handicap parking?
It's the first space in the paved area. You'll see there's a little racing wheelchair.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, it's just tiny on mine. And the other question, just I'm concerned about. So their deliveries are before 7 a.m. and after 8 p.m. I'm just concerned about, quality of life for existing homeowners in the area, because it seems a little intrusive to be having a delivery after 8 p.m., especially on a night if you have children. I don't know. I don't have a store, but is there any way to fix that, or how does that work? Any ideas? Just throwing it out there.
This isn't like a ShopRite by any means. This is going to be maybe one small box truck at a time. So it's not like they're going to be there for hours. And it seemed like the best way to alleviate the driveway situation. There is vegetation along the back line that would maybe help with headlights. And I just don't think they'll be there that long to really impact the neighbors that much.
Yeah, I was more concerned of the neighbors on Main Street itself, because there are people that live on Main Street. So that's what.
Well, we'll be between the two buildings, so that'll provide some sound barriers there. And it is a business district.
No, I know, I understand that. I'm just asking a question because
yeah.
I've been on the other end of the stick, and it's like Grand Central Station, and it sucks. So that's why I'm asking. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam?
No, I don't have any additional questions at this time.
Rick?
I just have one question. Is there street parking allowed on this road or not?
No.
Right? Not. Okay.
Zorian?
Yes, our minutes saying about showing loading dock, is that kind of Is that not the case? Because there won't be any loading dock. It would be from a parking lot, right?
Right.
No, there is no loading dock. If you look over in notes, deliveries are to occur outside of regular business hours and utilize a central parking area. So there is no loading dock. That's part of the waiver.
I brought it up because our minutes saying that they would produce some plan with a loading dock. Another thing I want to bring up again, I don't see any issue with those existing trees in terms of obstructing the view, because the branches on the tree starts probably a good 5 feet from the ground. And they appear to me nice ornamental trees. So maybe think it over again, please.
Well, they are younger trees, and the problem is that they block the facade of this historic building and the signage that they would be able to put on the front of the building. So it's not like we're talking about 100-year-old oaks here, and he is going to put landscaping in there, just not those trees. So there will be vegetation.
Historian, I had also thrown out at the last meeting, we could maybe split the difference or keep some of the trees. So the signage would still be able to be seen, and the one that is the only sightline tree is the one that's closest to the parking. If you're going to have, a sightline tree, so maybe some trees could be preserved, some cut down, and everybody has a win-win. We can put that in as a requirement of landscaping.
I think there are only 3 trees there, right? Is that correct? I have a picture somewhere.
I believe there's 4.
4, okay.
Yeah, they're showing 4.
Yeah, I thought about the sign, but I wasn't sure how high and where the sign going to be.
Well, it would be above the windows. Henry, if you probably have seen, I haven't seen the design recently.
Yeah, we were planning on putting a sign. Originally we were gonna have people enter on the side, but obviously that's absurd because we need the space for the whole space for parking. We really would like to pursue the design that we've been developing for the past few months, which involves opening up the full facade of the historic building. I totally get where you're coming from, but we would ask that not be tacked on as a condition. We plan on making it look really nice, but if we block the view, there's windows throughout the entire front of the building. We really wanted to open it up so that people could see, and when they're walking past, driving past, I think it makes a lot of sense to open up. I think it's a beautiful building. And like I said last month, those trees aren't there in the historic pictures. I think they were planted 15 years ago. So to have that be a condition feels slightly arbitrary.
All right, guys, and remember, we're breaking our protocol here. You're not supposed to have a back and forth at this point with the applicant. That comes later. You're just stating your, Sam, would you step in as the compliance officer, please? All right, Zorian, anything else? Anything else?
No, I didn't mean to make I didn't mean as a condition. I was basically suggestion. Okay.
All right.
One thing about the window, by the way, you're gonna get more sun in the building. Okay, back and forth. Sorry.
Maren, I did think of a question if it's possible, if I could jump in at this point.
No, we can go around everybody else, then we can go back to you. Mark, do you have anything?
I do. The second floor is 1,500 gross, and the customer area proposed on the first floor says 1,600. Is the remaining 2,740 square feet, I assume, is storage? Is that correct?
Yes, you are right. Somewhere
Including
in
the upstairs? The 1,500 square feet upstairs, we're assuming is storage, or is it safe to assume it's
the upstairs, if I can find it in the 10 gazillion pictures here, that is office space.
Just to be used by the applicant.
As used by the applicant as an office space. So there is your first floor.
not for future rental or any other?
No, we
potential
knocked that out.
No, that would be a condition that it can only be used by the applicant internally for their own office uses.
Excellent. I have no further questions. Thank you.
So this is, yeah, this, you can see this is the storage area. And there is your open office space.
Thank you.
Did I leave anybody out there?
I have a question.
Yes. Yeah, we got to add you to the roster of the round robin.
I was gonna say, yeah, because I always pipe in at the end.
That's a wrong
Has
parking
this
plan.
been sent to county? I know, like you were just saying, things that came up at the Gateway meeting. Did this get sent to county?
This has not been sent to county yet. Nope.
Okay, all right. Don't forget to do that.
You mentioned that at the last, and so the public hearing will have to be tonight and keep it open, and we'll send it to county. We did not get the narrative squared away.
They're waiting for things that didn't come in time?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a couple other things in
fine.
here that still have not been squared away. So I'd rather send a true, complete report to county instead of having them come back and say, you need all these things that we know.
Yep, so absolutely just make sure we keep the public hearing open because we can't close it till we've heard back.
Yep, I got that.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Sam, you had a second round? Sam, cuckoo. See,
I
now
think he's frozen again.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, now he's
Sam?
moving.
Okay, did you just pass it to me?
Yes.
Yeah, Sam
Sorry,
is
I froze up. Is it? Okay,
Okay.
now I'm back.
all right.
My question was just about the parking signage. I don't know if there was a submission about that earlier, but I think having some kind of signage, and there was discussion about also how to mark the spaces. Just want to make sure that something to that effect ends up being included at the end. Like there was discussion of painting the lines on the walls of the building. Maybe something about if there's no spaces, please use the municipal lot. Just I think it'd be good to see something to that effect. And if there is anything, if you could direct me to it.
Yes, there isn't anything at the point, but what they've shown the proposed wheel stops. I'm going to get my turn to speak here. So before this goes to county, I want a complete pack, a final plan pack. So we finally have the fully corrected narrative. And one pack, like you're doing a big commercial official, we have a gazillion pieces of paper, a gazillion redone everything. So, and in that great pack, we'll have the narrative, the waiver request, and original site conditions, which you have, and your aerial, which you have, your final site plan here of January 25th, a lighting plan, which you already have. You just need to put this all together, Heather, or somebody at your shop. So it's in one big plan pack. So the lighting plan that shows that the lighting doesn't flow over and it shows the goosenecks that are being used, that needs to be, this is page 2. First could be page 1 is original site conditions. Then we have this, your site plan. Then we have a lighting plan. Then we have a signage plan. We don't have any details on the signage. The size,
Okay.
we have a picture, but we don't have anything that goes with our, is it interior lit? Is it not interior lit? Will it be shut off after working hours? Will it not be shut off?
There's the goose lights you can see on the photo.
Well, you know what?
There's-
It needs
yeah.
to be, we need a signage plan. We need,
Oh.
the code. So a picture, the sign is going to be this long, this high, this color. Because if this is going to go to the HPC, there's no way they can say, yeah, your signage fits with our historic area if it just is as it is right now. So you can read the signage section and get a signage plan. Parking we have, that's good. The architectural renderings, building elevations and descriptions, I think we got those first from 8/30/2020. That should be part of this pack. Then you page forward, you get the renderings. I've also asked like 10 times to get a legend from the architect.
Oh, I think I surprised, I'll resend it to you again. I did provide a floor plan with some labels on it.
Oh my God, why isn't everything getting posted? This is killing me.
I know.
I'm posting them as I get them, so I don't know why they're not on there. They're all on there.
All right.
I could just make well, you guys are on Google. I could just make a Google Drive list of everything. And
exactly. Just do one. The whole thing will be like, we're just going page by page. So if you have it and you've already done it and it has the legend on it, put that in. We also need a landscaping plan, proposed landscaping that doesn't show anything, and ornamental planting less than 3.5 feet tall. If you read through landscaping, what kind of bushes are they going to be? Are you using native bias bushes? The proposed landscaping in front of the retail store looks like nothing, like grass. We don't know any of that is, so we need a landscaping plan. I mean, a lot of this has been and that all needs to be in one pack, and then we can send that off to everybody. And I don't know if that means we keep it open till everybody sees that on the board before it gets sent out, or if the board is confident upon receipt and review, maybe Sam and I could review it, then we send it out to all the, but county is going to come back saying, where's the landscaping plan? And then the other thing, that the last one in that pack is interior, as Sam said, interior signage plans. This way to municipal parking overflow for extra people. I don't know. We had mentioned that they would maybe look at thinking what they would do. Only park head in. I don't know. No parking on the street. This is bound to have difficulties with somebody just deciding I can park on the street when there's no street parking.
so wait, you want? I'm going to need a list as
Yeah, I'm gonna
specifically
give you
what signs you
exactly-
need. Yeah, this is all new to us.
So we've talked about a lot of this before, and you also know everything that is needed for.
Well, interior signage, that's a new one to me.
No, not interior inside the building. No.
Okay, I was like, what?
No.
Parking signage for like interior, so people know what to do once they've turned in the driveway.
Signage.
Other
for
than the curb
inside
stops.
lot.
Okay.
Because we have an issue with how do people know they go to the municipal? They walk in and somebody that, is an hourly wage worker that with turnover of God knows what that you might have. So there has to be something that, since we have this overflow parking issue that is on the side of the building, says if you don't, I don't know, you don't find any
So
parking here.
Additional parking in municipal lot with a arrow pointing.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Something like that.
okay,
And no parking on street,
okay.
because people will be tempted. And you're probably going to end up having to have a no parking in the fire department parking, because I can guarantee you $1 that people are going to start parking there.
That's right. That would be kind of ballsy. I
Can I ask
don't think I
question?
would just park at the park. Well, maybe along the side road.
Yeah, exactly. Along the side road, they're not going to know, and they're not going to realize that that's not municipal parking, and they think that it's all parking. No, you can't ask a question. Yes, Zorian, because I have to get through all of my things.
Okay, sorry.
And then you can afterward. And then the last thing is dumpsters. I know that you said they're going to keep everything inside. Maybe they should sit with themselves for a bit and think about the potential of a dumpster, because when the truck comes in and there's boxes full of stuff, they're going to what? Fold all those boxes, break them down and put them in the storage area every day and keep them all week until the trash comes? Just saying, there are no dumpsters here. And is it, if there's trash sitting out,
Well,
boxes.
they're not preparing any food, so it's not like there's going to be much food waste. It's really
If
going to
you
be
get
recycling.
boxes,
Yeah.
If you have boxes that come
Hmm.
with stuff in it, and they're supposed to do, holistic, everybody serves their own nuts inside stuff, and that's going to come in a box, in a container, and they're going to have a bunch of big cardboard boxes. So if they're going to keep those all in the storage area until the night before the guy comes to pick up the trash, that's fine. But if they're sitting outside in a pile or against the building or in the parking lot, then they're going to get a citation. So maybe they want to think about having a dumpster for putting that stuff. If they really think they can do it that way, that's fine, but it better not be sitting outside.
Noted.
When a delivery truck comes, they don't bring the nuts by hand and scoop them in. They put them in various boxes. And so it's the boxing material, not the organic waste the packaging material that will have to be dealt with.
Everything's coming in a box.
Exactly. Everything comes in a box.
Right.
So there are no dumpsters. They might want to think that it will be a condition of approval that there can be no stuff sitting around outside.
Should they choose to put a dumpster in at a later date, will they need to come back and revise their site plan to put a dumpster location? Or is this something that we should put a proposed dumpster location at this point?
They can put proposed dumpster location. Yes.
Okay.
I personally think if you can do a retail business, you can figure out where a dumpster can go. Zorian. You had follow on. I'm done. Those were all my things.
Right. We're talking about no parking on the street, but does the county road has no parking on the street? The public's not going to see this site plan.
That's where we're going to put the signs on the building.
That's where they're going to try and put signs.
Okay.
I don't know, Dorian, if it'll work or not, then we call.
Well, I just had a comment on that. With any new business, it takes a while to figure out what you're doing. When we had the Hillside, reopen, parking, we had to figure out where to park. So, the public needs to be trained. Might not be the ideal situation, but hopefully once it's open, people will realize like, you know what? Okay, yeah, word of mouth. If you can't park there, go over across the road. That's just an opinion. I think people will figure it out at one point, and it's going to be difficult in the beginning, but we'll see. If I want something, I'm going to.
But how's it going to figure out? They park it, they're convenient, and there is no clear signs. That's my point.
There'll be a clear sign. There'll be a clear sign. They're working on that, Zorian. So you just got to give it a shot. So when you see a sign and it says "Don't park on the street," I think people will know that. So. But if not, then an employee will come out and say something. It'll work out. It's just like I said, this is the kinks of putting a new business in on a main street.
Fire department will call the sheriff so fast if someone's parked there. It's a really bad idea for someone to park there.
Situation with the new wine store on the corner of 209. It's the same. Growing Pains. We'll
yeah, definitely. Maybe at one point we could have the constable there just in the beginning and just let them know, hey, there's no parking here. I mean, it'll work its way out, but it's going to be a little fugazi in the beginning. But I think proper signage is going to help people realize, with any new business. So anyway, that's just what I have to say. So.
All right, guys, can we go to Sam? You get your process out. We should be doing the.
Yeah, we're on I think we're on discussion.
We're on discussion.
Or public comment is next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would like to open it up for public comment, public hearing, since this is our first day of the public hearing for this application. And if there's anybody in the public, even though the board rambles on, it is held to 7 minutes. And you're addressing the board, not the applicant. And it's not a back and forth question and answer session. It is a session for you to give information that we might not know about. We did receive 2 emails. First email was from Andrew Pekarik. I'm writing to express my enthusiasm, support for the creation of a grocery convenience store at 1923 Main Street in Accord. Accord is one of the treasures of their town, but very much in need of revitalization and economic development. It has the potential to be a vibrant and charming hamlet with services for the community that would also draw people in from other parts of town. A grocery convenience store would be a great beginning to this revitalization since it meets fundamental daily needs. And the fact that the applicant has shown great sensitivity and creativity in his operations elsewhere suggests that this facility has the potential to become a model project. I hope the board will give this application a favorable response. And the other was quite long. We have answered some of these, but in looking over the minutes from 2020, my initial concern is the applicant's lack of thoroughness in addressing needed information needed for review and consideration. On paper, this resistance reads as either incomplete plans and or the understanding that this proposed use exceeds the property's resources and is not a good plan at all. If the additional information has been provided, I did not find it, and so my questions may overlap previously answered concerns. Please advise this is the case and let me know where I can find the answers already addressed. We can handle that. It is also generally understood the applicant's original idea was for a restaurant. This plan closely resembles that with reference to a deli and community space. Questions are below. In my opinion, the plan is too big for the property and its resources. In trying to make it fit, boundaries are being pushed to overflowing with little clarity as to why. We have many grocery stores and delis in the area that appear to meet the needs of both our residents and our guests. At this time, my personal opinion is the use of this parcel should be reconsidered for a different purpose. I am, however, open to more information and plans that address my concerns and the concerns of the board and the public. Parking, it was anticipated approved building capacity. Is the capacity to meet available parking? How will deliveries be handled? Is there a loading zoning dock? How these parking spaces affect the neighboring businesses that are currently using those spaces? How will parking be addressed for those businesses? How will overflow be handled? Will there be no parking signs on Main Street? I think we have pretty much got those. Will be a tow truck on call to handle violators. Wish we had that budget. Who will be handling violations? Will constables be ticketing? It's also known that the constable's powers are severely limited this time. If so, however, will the Ulster County sheriffs or troopers be asked to help deal with parking issues? How many parking spaces of the 9 will be used by the business, employees, vehicles, or residents of the house? We have answered that. How many spaces are ADA compliant? What kind of signage will be used to direct traffic to the municipal lot? Who is expected to pay for this? We are all aware out-of-town visitors, part-timers, as well as locals do not necessarily abide by rules based on the proposed business's venture being across the street from the firehouse. This could, much like the swimming hole, become a safety issue not only with on-street parking, which will happen, but also with shoppers using the firehouse property park, which will also happen. Add to that, Main Street is used by farming vehicles that can take up more than one lane of traffic. People parking on the street will cause additional traffic issues during farming season. Fire trucks have to have access to all of Main Street, not just one lane, especially given the size of our ladder truck. If business is running during the snow season, on-street parkers will hinder plowing effects. Municipal parking. It's my understanding the part of the lot actually belongs to the firehouse. With that taken into account, how many spaces are available while considering current use? Philbrook Research, Historical Society et al. Also, since the firehouse hosts private, community, and election events, the municipal lot will certainly exceed capacity at times. How this will be addressed? Will the reallocation of parking, the probability of congestion on Main Street will be increased, and this should be taken into account prior to permit approval as well. What is a business scope? What is the scope and meaning of their website statement? A website already, and we haven't even approved it. A community space, equal parts grocery and general store. Are there proposed expansions for this business, a phase 2 or phase 3? It appears to be a more involved idea than what is being presented. What I'm aware of, perhaps a special events venue as well. Please elaborate on plans, particularly as it applies to community space and how much time customers, guests are expected to stay on site, as this affects all the points listed below. Operation, target customer. Will they be serving prepared foods? This increases resources demands. How many jobs will it create? Will it be family run? What are the wages? Is it ADA compliant? Bathrooms, scope of business, if this is even feasible. This person would like to see the environmental impact statement. It's not a variance request at this point, but septic water, what demands on the septic? Questions on the bathroom usage. What kind of water usage is expected? Are there sufficient water available for the additional demands? New well drilling be needed? How will garbage waste be stored and removed? For those of us who've lived on Main Street long enough, we have seen what a rat infestation can do, especially as a neighborhood property. However, rats are certainly not the only concern. Unpleasant smells, unsightliness, and all affects all the neighborhood. It's understood the current plan is for a zero waste business, but the reality of that will involve a certain amount of trash and cannot be overlooked. What are the proposed methods for actually keeping the waste to zero? For garbage removal, is this space and access for a dumpster? Will the owners use the transfer station? If using the transfer station, how will trash recycling be stored on site? What is the proposed lighting and how will the business keep from creating light pollution? Noise pollution, we currently do not have a noise ordinance, but noise increase is a concern. How are the owners planning on keeping noise to a minimum? And an increase in crime. As there's an increase in shoppers, an increase in crime must be considered. I speak from the experience of having to contact the constable 6 different times regarding trespasses and suspicious activity because, again, many people don't think rules apply to them. Whose jurisdiction will this be? And have those agencies been advised? Response time can be tricky as there very limited coverage of officers in this area. This is a big concern along the previously mentioned on parking. There's slow response time. People will become more bold, as we have all seen in other town locations, and break even more laws. I thank you for the application, representation, and concern public attention to this matter, Sue Bruck. I think she should join the planning board. She pretty much covered everything. Some of those have been already addressed and some remain outstanding. So at this point, is there anybody live? Brianna, are you ready to
Yes,
Thank you.
I think there's only one person I don't recognize. The number ends in 8845. Do you want to speak about this public hearing?
All right, that takes care of that. Anyway, I'm going to make a motion to keep the public hearing open until the next meeting because it has to be kept open as we refer this to various agencies. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain. All right. We also need to send this to, I
have
think, yes, do you have
I
another?
had a list from what you said before. So it was Department of Health, Department of Public Works, Ulster County Planning Board, SHPO, Town of Rochester, Historic Preservation Commission. That's what you mentioned before.
We also should do Department of Health.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay, we didn't need that for the other one. Fire and highway. Oh no, we don't need town highway. I'm sorry, you're right. It's forget that.
Fire.
I don't think we need to send it. Mary Lou, you might want to pipe into SHPO. They already sent it to SHPO. And if you go back into the previous, there's full documentation from SHPO on their opinion. They went back and forth about the solar panels. And so I think we can leave SHPO out. We already have everybody can review SHPO's opinions on the project.
Fine with me.
I agree.
So it's Department of Health, Department of Public Works, Ulster County Planning Board, Town of Rochester, Historic Preservation Commission, and the Fire District.
If you just do a comma and make that into a motion.
I move that we refer, I move that once we have the complete pack, which was outlined previously, that we then refer this complete pack to the Ulster County Department of Health, the Ulster County Department of Public Works, the Ulster County Planning Board, the Town of Rochester Historic Preservation Commission, and the Accord Fire District.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain.
It
All
looks
right.
like there was a notification coming up on my screen that one of the phone numbers was talking. I don't know if they were maybe muted. I didn't, if it was someone trying to comment still.
But that was you, but apparently not.
All right, if there was somebody, this has been the evening of technical difficulties. If there was somebody of the public that was trying to comment, we deeply apologize. You can come back for the
They
next.
muted themselves.
They muted themselves?
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Sounds like, looks like on the screen.
I don't know. I don't even see them anymore.
No, I don't see.
I see something. I see 8855 last 4 digits.
That's probably John Dawson, guys.
Ah,
No, he's
Okay.
oh, he is
It
on
was
the
like a
screen.
718.
He's on the
number.
screen.
Okay, there's a 718 that just came back.
yeah, it's ending in 4398. Oh, they've unmuted.
Are you there, person?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Would you like to speak about the grocery store project?
My partner would. We couldn't get through on his line.
That's okay. This is, if any, next thing that happens is our heads turn around and we spin off because it's been a technological disaster. Please go ahead. What would you like to tell us?
Okay, can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, that was a little frustrating. Dave Roberts and Alana Blum from 5 Scenic Road. I'm the owner of 5 Scenic Roads. So I think you're probably all aware of the stone house immediately behind the grocery.
Yep.
I just want to note that Reen Schneider, the owner of 7 Scenic Road, is out of state, but I've been keeping her up to speed with the developments, and we share the same thoughts and concerns and support for the project. So I just want to. She asked that I represent her thoughts when talking to the committee. So we've been in contact with Henry a good deal about the project. He's been very, very supportive of our concerns and has really listened to us, and we really appreciate that. Overall, we support the general store, even though it probably affects us and our quality of life more than most people in the village and in the area. But I guess we're happy, or we see that we'll. There's a downside, but there's obviously a great benefit to the hamlet and to the broader community that we, are very invested in. We actually really appreciate Anne Marie's comments earlier, just in acknowledging that, this is in a residential area, that it does impact people whose homes are immediately adjacent to the property. And, these are the things that we've discussed with Henry. We're much happier with the parking plan as it's proposed, as opposed to what was previously discussed with the the driveway going behind the building. And obviously our concerns are about, headlights of cars, increased noise, and so on. But we've discussed this with Henry, and he's committed to a fence between our property and the grocery in order to mitigate those things. And we greatly appreciate that. We'll also be continuing our discussions with him regarding, the lighting and the impact on our property. We have a little bit of a, discrepancy around the delivery hours. I noticed that earlier the board members were talking about, deliveries before 7 a.m., which would not be acceptable to us, given that we expect there'll be, noise associated with that, the beeping of a reversing, truck and that sort of thing. And I know Henry is not certain about the hours of operation, but that would be one thing that we need to keep a close eye on, because we certainly don't want to see, delivery trucks at, 6 o'clock in the morning, although Henry has said that that would be most unlikely given the sort of deliveries that they're getting. I think that's all that we want to address at the moment. As I say, we are generally in support of the whole project, and just need some attention to some of these details that would impact us. Well, one of the other things was the trash, which you've also discussed, and in our discussions with Henry, I think that's a mutual concern, in that anything that's going to attract vermin or so on is bad for him and bad for us and bad for everyone within the hamlet. And he's committed to protocols that would reduce that. I think that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for patiently trying to get on.
Yeah, we got there finally.
Anybody else out there desperately trying to speak that are having our technological difficulties? The 718 number?
That was me.
Oh, that was us as well.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Can I just note, Maren, that if there is a fence being put up, that should be shown on the plan.
You took the words out of my mouth.
So are we at discussion now?
We discussed sort of before.
Yeah, now we're back at it again.
But we're back at discussion again. So first, did we do a motion to keep the public hearing open? Yes, we did, correct?
Yeah.
Good. So we're back at discussion. Anybody have some new discussion?
I wanted to respond to the conversation about the trees and the landscaping. I fully support, obviously we need a landscaping plan. I just want to say that I do not agree with Zorian about preserving the trees. I think I agree with the applicant that aesthetically and historically and also functionally, I think it'd be better to have the facade visible. So I do not think we should make that a condition of approval. It seemed like there was some disagreement within the board, so I just thought it might be good to talk about that real quick.
No, I think I gave up with it. I mean, not gave up. I understand where they're coming from, and I also forgot about that facade plan that was a couple months ago.
And I
was sorry. Perhaps Henry could plant some trees in the back, Zorian similar. So this way, you have to take 2 out, put 4 in, something like that. It might work. But I do think to see the front of the building, it's a beautiful building, and you're going to be spending money on signage. And if people can't see the signage, you're going to have people parking there. So I think that it would be wise to take down the trees and do some really nice landscaping. So
I completely agree with you, Emery.
Yep, I agree with that. If we can see a true landscaping plan as opposed to nothing, that would help on that. And I think also in our letter to the Historic Preservation Committee, we can bring this up, because historically, if buildings tend to be close to the street with not much landscaping and trees in front of them. So we could ask them for their opinion also on what would be historically relevant landscaping treatment while bringing it up to the 21st century. I think we do have, yes, Mary Lou had a very good point. Hopefully, Heather is still on with us, that if there's a fence going to be put up between the property, it needs to be shown, or if it has already been put up, it needs to be shown.
Yeah, I'll get the details about that. I was unaware of that.
New info. The trash has to be hashed out by the applicant. And the light overflow, I personally would say, they're the, downward facing, night sky compliant. And if we make a condition of approval that when the store is not in operation, they're turned off, that will keep it dark.
Do you want that as a note on the plan, or?
Yeah, everything that can go into the plan note, that'll be great. It'll be a condition of approval if the board thinks that's appropriate.
So I don't have to worry about that right now for the submission that's going forth to everybody. Okay.
And then go ahead, Zorian.
About the lights at night, it's a commercial property. They may want to have some light for security. Or might they have a motion light there, by the way?
Right, we could do something exactly, make them some at the entrances or the rear motion sensitive, but not keep all of them on all around.
Yeah, nowadays plenty of motion lights. So.
Right, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say that if maybe, you could keep some in the front and at the side, or make them motion sensitive.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Hi guys, am I allowed to speak? This is the applicant, one of them.
Oh, wait, we're at our, hold on. What is my new rules?
The rule is no.
Okay.
The rule is no. The rule is no. At this point, you put it together and get it in the super plan. And then deliveries. I guess deliveries are outstanding difficulty.
I mean, I hear the perspective of the commenter, however, I think like if we're the reason we asked for that plat note originally was because of the parking limitations. And we felt that the access from the side of the building presented a safety hazard. That also came from the county DPW, that they had a concern about that. So I feel like we reached an accommodation. I guess if the applicant were to come up with another idea that they felt also addressed the safety issue while addressing the commenter's concern, I'd certainly be open to it, but I don't, it's like if they can't have deliveries during business hours because of parking, and we don't like the side thing because of public safety, then it's like, well, it's in a business area, it's across from the fire department, like if there's a delivery in the morning, it's just kind of the nature of the beast, I feel like.
Well, I have a suggestion based on my many years in Manhattan. Have the delivery truck come to the municipal parking lot and put it in a hand cart and just bring it over. I mean, you see how the city works. Everybody has hand carts all over the place. That could work. And this way you don't have an issue with it. You're not going to be bringing in giant,
How's that going to work in the wintertime?
They do. It snows in the winter.
Today through the snow?
They can do it. You know what? It's up to the delivery and the owner of the business. I mean, the trucks would be in the back. They can just, I don't know. It's a suggestion. I don't know, Rick, how it would work. I'm not a delivery person, but I've seen.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, we could.
We
I agree with Sam that look, we went through so many. If they can come up with that as a scenario that works, getting a cart through the snow and ice is difficult. We went through so many different twists and turns with this in terms of the parking, and I thought that the hours of limiting the hours of delivery was a perfect solution. If he said 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd say no, but 7.
I mean, I also think at a certain point we're getting outside of our purview with site plan approval.
Thank you.
Like we have
Yeah.
you know, we're approving parking and, you know, obviously the delivery relates to parking insofar as it could take away space from parking, and then and there's the safety, you know, but I kind of feel like we've reached either the boundary of what we can reasonably ask for, you know. Yeah, I guess that's sort of how I feel. But
Yeah, I mean, I think, Sam, what we need to look at this point there is, you know, our purview is 140-20 noise. And so,
yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's a business district across from a fire station.
I know, but
You
what
know,
I'm
it's
saying
like,
is, well, first of all, the fire station doesn't necessarily matter, but what we look at is noise, and a delivery truck going in those hours and doing some beep, beep, beep backup noise doesn't violate our noise ordinance, most probably. So that solidifies your point that we aren't going over necessarily our purview, but our purview is that as long as all proposed new land uses shall not generate cumulative sound levels at or beyond any lot line that exceed the ambient noise level by 10 decibels or more, blah, 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 and reasonably limit the hours of operation to attenuate or mitigate any potential noise impacts on any proposed use. So that's what we're trying to do, is mitigate and attenuate. And we look at the duration of the noise, and the duration will be very short because it really is backing up noise, etc.
I
So
think
I
we're fine. Look, I think we're fine.
it
I honestly
falls
think we're fine.
under.
And the same for the lighting. I mean, I have no problem if we ask Henry to turn off the lights when he closes shop. On the other hand, you know, lights do provide some degree of security. And they're downlit, and the whole purpose of downlit is that they're not shining on the other residents. So
Right, which they're not, because we have the lumens
so
report.
that's the
And
definition of it. So I don't have a problem if they stay on.
we've asked pretty much everybody else, Rick, to be consistent. After business hours, the lights are shut off.
Oh, that's
They're
right. You're
allowed-
right.
But they're allowed to have safety lights, motion detected or
Some sort of
otherwise.
safety light. Yep. But turn the rest of
So-
them off. We did that for the
Exactly.
ice
That's,
cream place. We did it for the liquor store. Yeah, you're right.
all right, I think they have their marching orders to get the final pack together so we can, and the sooner the better, we can send it on to everybody. Because we will have to wait until we hear back from Ulster County Planning Board before we can close public hearing, stop this. So the sooner they get it to us, that it can get to the Ulster County Planning Board for the beginning of next month. It is, Brianna, correct me if I'm wrong, the first Wednesday of the month they're meeting? I
That's
think.
the first Wednesday of every month.
First Wednesday. So if everything is, I mean, the sooner we get it to them, the more time they have to review, and then everybody else is, and same thing with everybody. The more time we have it, the more we can hear back from everybody. There's the one that has precise time constraints. All right, guys, let's go to our last of the evening. Mr. Dawson, are you there? Did you give up on us? Another,
Here, can you hear me?
there he is. All right.
Yep.
Last on the list is
Yeah.
20.
Nice. Great.
2021-02, a minor subdivision. We're starting everything with it at a pre-application conference. So this is a pre-app, and you pretty much presented it perfectly as a pre-app. I will pull up. So this is a 2-lot subdivision. It's funky. You have a skinny right-of-way access going to a larger.
Well, it's 50 foot wide, the
Right,
right
it's
of way.
50 foot, but in general, it's just, I guess it's skinny because, let me get everybody out of here. If you look at the site up in the corner, why does it not show up for everybody? it won't go, if I do it like that, will it show it to everybody? I don't know why this, there we go. Why that screen is different than mine. So if you see up in the corner, which I don't think I will be able to make large enough. It's a very long site with a little 50-foot access way. So it's a flag lot going back. And
Yeah.
the idea is to carve off one lot that already has an existing mobile home on it and well and septic, and have 2 lots in back. Do you want to go and fill us in, John?
Yeah, yeah. There's 2 lots on front on Cedar Drive. One has access off of Cedar. The other one owns road frontage. That's Knight. But we let her use the driveway or the right of way. It's flat. It's nice. And the remainders of the land was always going to stay large for one single home, but the daughter came involved and she wants a place to live. And this mobile home used to be her grandmother's mobile home. It was there originally. So Richard opted to give it to her. We wanted to give her 5 acres, but because of the lay of the land, it really worked out stupidly. This worked out better because of where the electric meter and the cable TV and items are for the back lot. If you look at that right away, and then by the corner of her property, you'll see 2 dots right on the road. That's the electric meter for the back land or transfer.
I have some questions. Any board questions at this point? Anne Marie? I got nothing.
No, nothing. It's fine.
Rick?
Thank you.
Rick?
I don't remember what we did with other minor subdivisions, whether we asked for topos or not.
Yep, that'll all.
You know, we don't need all the usual, the topos.
I have
if there's electrical boxes in the back there or electric, I mean, nothing's marked.
Yeah, well, none of it needs to be marked right now because it's a preliminary. That's
Right,
our
but
chance
just
to.
so John understands, we're gonna need all of that, yeah.
Yeah, I do have, is Heather still on board? No, that's fine. I do
Heather's
have.
here. I'm here. I'm here. I was unmuted, but here I am, John. Ready to save the day.
Can you hear me?
I can.
In 05, you guys did an aerial survey with Robinson, job number 04191.
I got that data. I got it. I could put it on there if they want it. No problem.
Great. And we'll probably want to put core habitat on this too.
I can mush that on there. Yep.
So let's let everybody ask their questions first, and then we'll circle back and let John and Heather answer. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. We're trying to have a new discipline, John. It's tough for us to like.
I see that.
The only other question I have, Maren, is I'm a little confused. There's 2 proposed lot 1s on this map. Proposed lot 1 of 2.6 acres.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yep, that needs to be fixed, obviously.
That's a slip up.
Yeah, I mean, just a minor thing, John. That's it for me right now, Maren. That's all I can.
Put eyes on that.
Mark, you have anything?
Yeah, just wanted to know, Mr. Dawson, what is the proposed remainder space to be used for? Is that going to be subdivided again for housing?
No. We actually don't want to do anything with it. It's hopefully it's going to be his retirement home. His son was already taken care of with another parcel of property. So nobody else is going to say, hey, I want one. So it should be fine. And we're okay with saying no further subdivision because the land, it's really beautiful piece of land. Actually, Knight, the neighbor there, she does these horticulture classes and stuff, and she wants to do plantings and stuff back there and do walks. And we told her, do what you want, because the land's just sitting there, and it keeps people out, because people tend to come in and dump trash and stuff, with lands like this. And we don't want to put up a gate, but nothing's planned for the back.
Gotcha. Because otherwise it would need to go through a major subdivision.
Yeah,
correct?
no, it won't get subdivided again. We don't want to. We didn't want to do this. But the home was already there, and we dabbled with what to do with it. And it's a nice home, because an older woman lived in it and kept good care of it. So it works out well for the daughter.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Sure.
Zorian,
No.
Sam,
I don't have anything, just the list of stuff we're gonna ask for.
all right. Did I get everybody? I need to start doing a checklist. I have a couple. First of all,
Okay.
Mark, for your knowledge, and John knows this, this is a flag lot, and this
Yes.
cannot be subdivided any further anyway, because if you have a flag lot,
That's right.
you can only have 3 lots, including the one that it goes over with. So it's going over Knight's property. So it's unsubdividable any further due to its flag nature and also the shared driveway nature. So the answer
Yeah,
to that
well-
is they can't subdivide it any further.
Thank you.
Right, but we're not going over Knight's property. Knight goes over our property. But yeah, we don't want to subdivide.
Yeah, but it's
So
still a shared driveway flag lot mess. So you
Yeah.
can't, you got 3 lots and you hit your
Right.
3 lots by doing this.
That's right.
What's the whole? So as far as for Heather, there is a stream that needs to be shown. I don't know if it's Rochester.
It's on my aerial. Also the wet area, which I never knew was down there, because we've never actually walked off that bank on that side of the property. But yes, it's all on the aerial. It shows this small wet spot and a large, primarily on the neighbor's swampland kind of place. That's all been mapped out, and all the elevation on it. And it shows all the adjoining properties also, because when they did the aerial, they just did the whole neighborhood. So
Exactly.
it's really, really good map.
So
So,
for the next one, so we get the stream put on, we get exactly, there's a little bit of wet swampy. You do have DEC core
habitat.
forest, but it's not of the highest level. I think it was like the 60 to 80% level. So we get that on. Topo, you said it's nice. We already have the house and everything. Is there a shared driveway agreement, road maintenance?
I think we gave Knight something for her bank. We can do another one.
So we'll need a road maintenance agreement and exactly shared driveway agreement,
Mhm.
obviously. What did I have here? Was this a subdivision previously, like of the ones in front?
Years ago, Medenbach and Eggers did propose, I think, 8 homes in there for me. And I opted to shut it down because I really didn't like it. And so we opted to just try to get some of our money back, because we put so much money into it with the aerial photographs and everything. And that's why we built the 2 homes, because they had road frontage, and then it sat ever since then. And that's what it's going to be.
The good answer is you never had an approval for a subdivision before.
Because it had road frontage.
Perfect.
The
Because
lots, yeah.
otherwise this would be a major subdivision.
Right. I know. I watched that all night. It's been interesting TV. Zoom kicked me off 3 times because I lost many times.
So we could set this for public hearing, or what does the board think about waiting and getting everything on the plan first before setting it?
I think we
Just
should get all the
interject
stuff.
there.
I
If-
prefer to get everything all together first.
I just want to stress that this is an existing house. I mean, we're not proposing any changes to the lot. So to delay this just to put more information that has nothing to do with what's proposed, I'm just feeling for the applicant here.
That's okay. You know what? That's the new process and all of that. This is a preliminary pre-application. So if it takes 3 sessions, it takes 3 sessions. So
I guess I'm not seeing what the information would add, considering we're
what
not
the information
building
adds
anything
is
new.
going forward in time. So people, if this gets sold by someone else to someone else, they know where these constraints are within the property. And let's say this wasn't a flag lot and thus constrained by not being able to be further developed, then you would have proposed lot 1. This is, I think, R2, correct? And you have a remaining, how many acres are left there, John? 21 acres.
21.2, but Rich and I have also discussed you making this back lot your 10-acre zoning law, your new, that we've been proposing, because we're good with that, because it abuts my property, so I really don't want a subdivision in there either.
So, but just pretending that it wasn't a flag going forward, Heather, this could be subdivided as it currently is down into 10, like it was proposed before. So yes, the person is already living there. We are not holding up somebody's dreams and aspirations by getting the rest of this on the plan. So the rest of it is going on to the plan. And when we have this is a pre-application conference. Now we get the plan that we need. We review that plan that we need and we set it for public hearing. And probably this is quite simple. We can get a decision then, but we also need to get a shared, get working on the road maintenance agreement and the shared driveway agreement. So nothing could be decided upon, Heather, until we get those anyway. No plats could be signed until we have those. So we really aren't delaying anything.
Okay.
Now, you want a shared driveway and a shared road?
And no, it's not a road. It's not a private.
No, we don't need a road maintenance agreement. We need a shared driveway agreement.
Shared driveway, yeah.
Just shared driveway.
Shared-
So it just has to be with Knight.
Well, it's got to be
No, with Knight and
Knight,
the daughter.
lot, and both
Well,
of the other lots.
Yeah.
The daughter doesn't own it yet.
Right. But if we're making a separate lot, they have to be part of that lot's got to be part of the driveway agreement.
Okay. Okay, but, all right. Well, can her father sign it is what I'm saying. It just seems, because
Yeah, no, it just has to show that it's going to be one of these should be lot 2, lot 1, lot 2, and Knight.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Shared driveway agreement. And you have samples of those, don't you, Mary Lou? I don't have to go to Bill for that, do I?
I don't have samples. Brianna might.
I have them.
Thank you, Brianna.
Um,
The only hurry on this would be, I am getting old and I may die.
Jack,
Jack,
you are never
living-
going to die.
I will be so
You're-
dead before you.
That's horrible.
No. I so take the over on that. I have
Yeah,
all my money on you living to, I think the lifespan of a human is now determined to be like 112. You're going to
Okay.
be up there at 111 and 3/8.
Well, if you're on the board, you're going to still see me then.
No question.
Hopefully
threat.
it'll be in person by that point, so we can come in with your walker, you know? Or
I'll hit you with my walker.
exactly, it's a pain. All right, I think you have your.
I think you have it. Go home, go to bed.
Okay. You can go home, go You can go home.
Heather, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye. You can go home
Bye.
to bed. We have a couple other items, guys. Our other matters. Let me make this bigger. Whoa, that's big, baby. First is, if you haven't fallen asleep, and
Just about.
Zach, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
You want to give a quick intro?
Yeah, so my name is Zachary Jarvis. I've lived in the area my whole entire life. I'm a local realtor now, and I'm excited to be a part of the Town of Rochester Planning Board as I grew up here. And I just want to be more involved in the community and the happenings here. So I feel like this is the perfect way to get involved.
That's super. And are you working now? Or are you in school?
I work now with Nutshell Realty in High Falls.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And Mr. Grasso.
My name is Mark Grosso, born and raised here at Crum Road in Kerhonkson, son of an auto mechanic and small business owner in the area. I am a chief financial officer for a large hedge fund company based in Denver, Colorado, which I work for home from. I have a master's in business administration and human resource management and a doctorate in business administration finance. I own multiple properties in the area, some rentals, and looking forward to being a part of the board. I am very interested in this type of business. It's something that is a more of a hobby for me, and looking forward to being a part of the board. I remember 20 plus years ago watching Ann Esteroff and Bob Gatos going back and forth having their arguments, and just an old timer here, I guess you could say. So third generation family for the town of Kerhonkson. So looking forward to it, and really appreciate the opportunity.
And maybe you can give me some tips how your dad gets his lawn so perfect.
That would be not my department. Me and a lawnmower are not the best of friends, so can't help you there.
I mean, I drive by there and I'm like, wow, I really got to up my game.
Zach, are you related to Kathy? No.
No, I'm related to Howard Jarvis with H. Jarvis Construction and Jarvis Fuel Service in Accord.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I probably know everybody. But it's so I just welcome. I'm so glad to have new people on board. It's so nice. So
thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for slugging through until.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And next, as I told you earlier, we have a STR referral again. So the short-term rental will be coming back. There just a couple changes, so it shouldn't take us very long. Also, there is a discussion on Thursday for an EEO. This is for the Maybrook property. I don't what I can't remember the new name that they came up with. And
something.
Yeah, exactly.
We know it is Maybrook. That makes sense to us.
Right. And
Walnut Brook.
Want to, so they came to us with, it was multifamily and single family and two family, and there were all kinds of constraints on the property because it's in the flood district, and what should the density be? And one of the buildings they have is within the 100-foot setback to the stream. So can you use that? So now they're trying through the EEO, the Economic Enterprise Overlay process. The town reviews that first, and we review it after. A lot of these constraints still exist. Should you be building and putting rental apartments within the flood district? Does the flood district work at the same time as an overlay as the EEO works as an overlay? Is one to have precedent over the other? Do we still do a multifamily review? So if we could listen in a bit on what the town board, their ruminations are when they go through this, I think it could help us. Because when this comes down to us, it's still going to be a complex project. obviously look at the EEO overlay code a bit. And lastly, for the 140-63 fees, while we submitted the letter, Zorian and Rick were on with me listening to the town board. They are thinking about it, about having a formal escrow, as we said, for introduction, sort of a formal overview, like what Liz sort of attempted to do today, that you'd be charged $500 and they'd have a first look through and a checklist. And then we would decide if we thought to escrow for a larger amount, and also expanding it to have a planning consultant, CPL for the engineering, and architect, landscaping also, and environmental perhaps. In the interim, we can't always do this. So everybody comes free at first with a pre-application, and we do like we did what Jack said, we need this, this, and this extra. And then if the project looks like it's going to be very complex, we have the ability at the onset to say, you know what, we would like to escrow to have an architect look at it. We would like to escrow to have a planner. So we don't need the planning board, the town board to approve this. We can do it and use it more aggressively and use other consultants we haven't been using so far on our own mandate. So just so everybody knows that we can maybe use different people or add people and do it earlier, so we don't have some of these applications that drag on and on and on, and then we bring a consultant in, and then we bring CPL in, and it drags on and on and on past that. It's my 2 cents there. You can read 140-63. It's scintillating, and see the process of setting escrow and getting outside.
Thanks, I wrote it. I'm glad I'm writing exciting things.
It is scintillating. And I reached out to our HPC and the ECC also, to see if they knew people that they thought that they liked or used or conferred with, either on the environmental side or on the architectural landscaping side. So I'll see if I get something back from them.
Will you be sending us a link for Thursday's meeting, or can you?
No, I don't have that. It is on the town website. So you go on the website and they publish it there.
It'll be on YouTube too. Just
It's on,
live
yeah,
on
it's
YouTube.
on YouTube. Basically, you go on and you get on via YouTube and call in if you have a comment.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
actually, there won't be any comments for this one.
That's right. So you can just listen in through YouTube for this one.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
But they have it, and on the town board, it's always on the agenda there attached. You can cut and paste it basically.
YouTube or on your phone. On your phone, you can listen to it as
Right,
well.
you can listen to it on your phone, or you can YouTube it. All right. Yes, sir, Bob, 10:15.
Motion
Thank
to
you,
adjourn.
everybody. I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Aye.
Again, abstain.
Night,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you
And
very
that
much.
was a short meeting for the new people.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Congratulations to our